Total Respect Show. Today I've got singer, guitarist, DJ, he's done it all, bodyguard to the stars. So I welcome Mark Jolly Williams, otherwise known as Big Jolly. What's happening, John?
What's up, Shell?
You alright?
Good to see you.
Are we on camera the size of you?
I don't know. I've got a little look in here now.
But stay tuned, I hope you enjoyed the interview. Right, thanks for coming on today, Joel. Before we start, let's have a look at you in action.
One of the greatest bands out of Wales, coming up to 25 years, service for punk. We introduce you to Foreign Legion!
Jumping around, going wild to the Legion sound. Jump, jump, jump around, wake up to the Legion sound. Jump, jump, jump around, wake up to the Legion sound. Tiger heroes are out tonight. Everything it's alright. The Legion's on fire. The crowds go wild. The clockwork crew, they are worldwide. Jump, jump, jump around. Wake up to the Legion sound. Jump, jump, jump around. Wake up to the Legion sound. Let's have a riot. Riot tonight. Let's have a party. No trouble in sight. City's on fire. The beat is on ice. We don't wanna go home. We play all night. Jump, jump, jump around. Wake up to the Legion sound. Jump, jump, jump around. Wake up to the Legion sound.
Right, let's go back to the beginning, Joel. Where was you born and what was your childhood like growing up?
Well, I was born in Merthyr Tydfil in 1970, and I grew up all my life in Dowlais, and great childhood. I had a good bunch of friends growing up in Dowlais. We were all into the BMXing, and we used
All the tank traps, is it?
all up the tank traps. We used to build BMX tracks up there, and we'd go as far as the Glyn and down Ponstick. We'd be out all day, and there's like lived for BMXers. It was like Whereas a good bunch of boys in Dowler, some of them went on to be big motocross riders and that.
Because you just turned 50, there's not a couple of days between us, same as me?
Yeah, it was the 8th of July.
8th of July, we were 11th. And,
Lockdown 50th birthday is lovely.
But how did you find school then? Because I think I was when I first met you, 1981. We've known each other now, 30...
Long time.
A long time, like. So how did you find school when you were up to Penydre then?
I think when I went to Penydre, I had a big, like going from Pan School to Penydre, it was like a big culture shock for me. I was like pretty quiet, I was always tall and big, got picked on a bit, and I think it took me a while to find myself in Penydre. It took me about 2 years before I started stand up for myself, really.
Yeah. When you say picked on him, was you bullied at all?
Yeah, bullied.
Because he wasn't a small kid, like, was he?
No, bullied by boys who was like from different schools and that. And they thought they
you
could
got
try
him
it on.
everywhere now. But,
And then one day I just snapped and...
So what made you snap? Was it just had a gut full of him?
Built up, someone just on to you all the time, and then you just snap in. But you always get the worst end of it.
Yeah, but like you said, when we were in Penydre, there was always I get up a year older, or some boys in our form who were bullies, and I think I seen you snap a few times in school. Did you snap with a teacher once?
No, I didn't really snap with a teacher.
I remember we used to play with the French teacher, didn't we?
I used to kick radiators off the walls and stuff like that and get chucked out of classes.
I remember there was a teacher with Docs. I'm sure you were running with him. I may be wrong.
Doc Smith, oh yeah.
No. There was another one. He was a youngster. He was like, I may have got it wrong. Like, but I remember we played out with Fizzy Lizzy, was it? The French teacher. But,
it was a good few teachers up there who were like. I remember one teacher. I won't name him.
Yeah.
But he's a Welsh class. Someone might work it out.
Yeah.
And he told me to hold my hand out like he was going to give me a cane or something like that.
Right.
And he picked up this book about that thick and smashed me over the head with it. And he knocked me out.
No way. Yeah.
And he was like, if we done that now, he'd be like...
Oh, can you imagine doing it now? Fucking a younger.
I couldn't name him, but I just see him around now and he's alright, like...
He's alright, yeah. I remember the same happened to me, I think it was Form 1 or 2, and he said, hold your hand out, hit you with the book. I'd say he was Action Man, I think he was, he had a moustache, remember? But,
he's one of my neighbours, he is, I talk to him all the time.
Is he? I think you say we're only kids, isn't it? But no mean they shouldn't get people with fucking books or canes, like.
I know some boys deserve it, like.
But if you remember then, the cane was still in. Cause you remember there was like two bastard headmasters, I remember of them, and they were actually given the cane, weren't they?
Hitler was one of them.
Hitler, and there was Matthews or something.
Mr. Matthews.
But, like I said, they want to go a fucking way these days, but...
But when you think of it, it was like 1,500 kids in Penydre when we were up there, and you had to, I was telling someone this the other day, you had to survive, really.
Of course you did.
Otherwise, you just get stomped on and left.
Yeah.
So you make you into a sort of socialised nut there, really, don't you?
Well, I remember you having a few fights, and like you said, you snapped then, and you put a few away, and I don't think you got picked on from school then.
I was interested in art in school, and it was no music classes. And
I was going to say, was you interested in music in school, no?
I loved music. So all we lived for, we had a group of friends all into like heavy metal and stuff like that, but punk and heavy metal.
Yeah, we'll get around to that. Did you do any sports at school?
I think I played rugby one time only, and I never went again.
Weren't a fan of rugby yet?
Nah. I was more into
no basketball, no size or anything, no?
We never had the options, like now.
If I remember right, you've done judo in your spare time,
judo.
How did that go?
I started judo when I was about 11, and I loved judo. I loved the contact of it, and we done a couple of competitions, and I've done it for a few years. Judo. It was really good discipline, and then later on, well,
it's a bit like wrestling, and throws and all that.
It was one sport I wish I never stopped, but when it got.
I think you would have been dynamite with it. But did you leave school any qualifications then?
I had just an O-level in art.
GCSE,
art. That's all I used to do. I used to love drawing. Yeah. And
so how did you find school then? Find it alright, or just a part of it?
Yeah, it was a good social. I went to school every day. Yeah. I always in
never
school.
Bugged, nothing, always done it.
Always had the free dinners. good dinners in Penydre.
Oh,
And I think you've got a good bunch of friends.
Yeah.
And you're still friends to this day. It shows that.
Yeah, exactly,
It's
yeah.
like,
You're a good
so-
little group, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, that's
like everyone was into something different, but you're still friends. But then you had a core bunch of friends who were into the same bands and who'd go off. Couldn't wait for the bell to go and watch a band like down Cardiff or
yeah.
minibuses. And but then we all stayed friends and we went to gigs throughout the whole life, man.
So you had a art O level. What did you do when on leaving school? Like?
First job I had was in a cash and carry, Booker's cash and carry.
Booker's, yeah.
And I was there then like for 10 years altogether.
Yeah.
And it was just a job. It was like.
Well, I remember you got me some work in Booker's because you had to go to some rough places, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you couldn't leave the fucking van, could you? So they had to pay me to come with you.
I know.
On these rough estates,
Ken
isn't it?
Reese, some places like that.
Yeah, over the Ronda, right?
Yeah, if we didn't have a big bouncer bodyguard with it, you would have been.
I had a couple of shifts I were working at the time. You sent me doing a bit of work, and we never had no trouble, did we?
No.
I don't think can't see it without signs of us.
Well, we had a couple of bats, I think, in the boot, the other van.
Yeah, we won't go into that at all, but we was tooled up ready for them. But
I don't think I've ever been back to Penry since, put it that way.
So, how do you get involved in music? What was your first thing on music? Like?
Well, that started in school. That did. It was like it was a good bunch of us getting into like guitars and that, and it was. My father always had a guitar in the house. He always and I was always fascinated.
Your father
with
did?
guitar, yeah.
Right.
And then when I was about 13, I started bought a cheap guitar.
Yeah.
And
Did you go up your mate's house, Flynny's or something?
well, that was the first thing about music. Yeah. Michael Flynn, he used to live in a street over from me in Dowless, and his father was
Big Mike.
Big Mikey Flynn, a legend in Merthyr. He's a great guy, and we used to go up the house, and he always had horror films and records and that, and I was always fascinated. And
Well, he was one of the first men of the
video
business.
He had The Exorcist and all these films and that in boxes, and we were, look at this.
And the porn.
Porn
baron.
He was the biggest porn baron in
But so his father had a record.
He had this record, Black Sabbath, the first album of Black Sabbath. I wish he had it with me now to show people.
Yeah.
For people who know the band, is it like a witch on the cover, a woman standing in like its eerie cover?
What's it called? The back of the album?
It's just called Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath.
Right, yeah, I know the one.
It was recorded in 1969. It came out in 1970, and so I must have been about 10. So me and Michael.
So you and his son was listening to the father.
Yeah, we got this record, and the first song is like a church bell ringing and like a storm, like all rain and that, and it kicks in with these eerie notes, and I had to go back now to my house down the next street, so I bolted down the street, and I was fascinated by it, so I asked for the lend of it then.
So you had 11, 12?
Yeah, about 10, 11, and just fascinated by that dark side of music, and it's always stayed with me since. Like I've seen Black Sabbath live now.
So when you start buying records, then who's your influences?
Well, the first records I ever bought was Adam and the Ants, the Specials,
bit of everything.
Madness. Yeah, it was like all into that, and I think the first heavy metal albums I bought then was Black Sabbath and a band Saxon. It was like as I was a bit older, I was in pants school, so. But it was always like, even in those days, it was mods, rockers, punk, skinheads, and I got influences from everything, and it's like I just love music. I was listening to heavy metal, but I still love the Specials and Adam and the Ants.
Yeah. So how old was you? What was your first band called?
First ever band.
Surrogate Room Invaders? Was that right? First one or no?
I was in a band playing drums before that.
Alright, no they call.
Me and a boy Grant, he lives in New Zealand now, he lived in the next street. That's why we discovered the guitars. We bought guitars, and we could always hear someone playing in his street. So we knocked on the guy's door and said, can you teach us how to play guitar?
Yeah.
And he looked at us a bit stupid and he said, who are you? Like, and we said, oh, we just live local and we love guitars.
You can do, like, yeah.
So he said, yeah, no problem. Bring you guitars next week and we'll have a lesson. So he taught us how to play a song by Judas Priest, Breaking the Law, which is a good
classic.
riff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we were playing that for like a month solid till we got it.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, do you want to form a band? So I said,
With him?
yeah, he was a
Yeah.
guitarist. His name was
Right.
Carl. He's a driving instructor now, Roundworth. Probably
Alright.
people know Carl well.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you're a guitarist.
Yeah.
Grant's a better guitarist than me. He said he nails the songs faster.
Yeah.
I said, I know a bass player. I said, well, what if I buy a set of drums and I be the drummer?
Yeah.
He said, yes. We used to practice in his house.
Full singing,
So it was Carl playing guitar,
Yeah.
Grant on guitar, and a boy Tommy, everyone knows Tommy.
Tommy, right?
Tommy the legend on the bass.
Yeah.
And it was me on the drums, and we were called Camorra.
Camorra.
It was a name, it was on a plaque in one of the streets. I think it was a Mormon name or something. And
Yeah. I think I got a picture of that, so we know.
yeah, so we were really young in that, and we roped the keyboardist in, and Jonathan Gard, and don't think he ever played a gig with us, but
Yeah.
we were getting like our own sound, and I wasn't a brilliant drummer, but I grasped the drums, and we played this one gig I ever played with them
Yeah.
in a Mormon church. It was packed out, and
Alright.
we went on, and I was like, I had to borrow a few more drums off a boy called Paul Davis who lived in my street, who was an excellent drummer.
Right.
And I had this big kit set up, I thought it was a business, and I was sitting there like that, and I was scared to go on the toms.
Right.
And we'd done the gig, and it was excellent, and then I was into heavier music and that, and one day when we were practicing, we were in Carl's house practicing, and he wanted to play all this foreign shit songs and all that, and I was like, nah, I want to play a bit of Venom and death metal and that, and he said, oh, I'm not going there. So we had a big argument, and I threw my drums. I said, right, I left the band, I said. So I stormed out, and then that was the end of that band, and
Was this how to get booming?
I bumped into a couple of punk rockers then, and
Yeah.
well, Paul Davis ended up joining Camorra on the drums, and
Yeah.
he started playing drums after Camorra and for this punk band called Surrogate Boom Invaders. And
Yeah.
I knew the one guitarist, Andrew Eggy from the Guitarist.
Oh, I could
So he was on guitar,
Yeah.
and we'll go into that later. There's a big link then throughout all the bands.
Yeah.
And then it was Gus with the big,
Gus Payton, yeah.
yeah, Gus from the Guitarist. He had amazing hair. Steve Thomas was the bass player, and Paul Davis was the drummer, and then he asked me to go down, and I started jamming with him, and then something happened, Paul Davis left the band, and then we had Dickie on the drums then, Julian Davis.
And he was a guitarist by then.
Yeah, I was a guitarist, so we
Well,
were
then-
writing really good songs then, and Dickie's a brilliant drummer.
Did you do
Same
many
as
gigs
Paul.
with them, man?
Oh, we done loads of gigs with them.
Yeah.
I think you were in a couple of the gigs of that.
I think it was,
in
yeah.
Dollars, when we used
Dollars.
to do those gigs.
Yeah.
We used to play with like all the local bands, and
So when did you change that to martial law then?
well, the story of that is we were playing in that gig in Dollars, charity gig, and the guy who was running it, David Marsh, I think his name was, he
Yeah.
owned the club.
Dollars,
And he said, you're not playing with that name. He said, we can't have a band on a charity with that name, Surrogate Room Invaders. And we were like, well, we had to change the name. So we picked the martial law in, and we used to do a cover of Breakaway. It was
I remember that,
it was
yeah.
brilliant, and but we had really
Crowds
good
were
songs.
listening. Yeah.
And then later on, we never ever got into the studio, and that's one regret I got with that band, because we had excellent songs,
Yeah.
really good boys in the band, and
never
had a
done it.
chemistry, never recorded. We only had live tapes, they're still about now. We changed our name then to The Inquest.
Inquest as well.
Yeah, we changed our name to the Inquest. We done a few gigs as that, and we started changing our direction. And we playing the cult songs and doing a bit of everything. But the last ever version of the Inquest, we had a bassist called Robert Newport, who plays in a lot of punk bands and I know. And we changed completely. We started playing Metallica, thrash metal style stuff, and we only done 2 gigs of that lineup.
Yeah.
It was the same lineup, except that Robert Newport was on the bass.
Right.
And Andrew Eggy went in the band then, and Steve Thomas, they were in the Foreign Legion. Yeah. But that was another lineup of the Inquest we should have recorded, because we had some really good songs, but it was no money about in those days, and no studios and nothing.
It was hard to get a break, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Before we get to the Foreign Legion, when you joined them, you supported Foreign Legion in the past, didn't you? Was it dollars?
Yeah. Yeah, well, after the Inquest and that was over, we formed a band. It was Gavin Thomas on the drums, guest singing, Grant on guitar, and I switched to bass guitar then.
Right.
And we were called Blind Justice.
All right.
And we done a gig with Foreign Legion in the old Chabonniers down the road. Remember the place that burnt down? We done a gig with them in there. We done a gig with a big band.
You supported them with dollars as well, didn't you?
Yeah, dollars, and we done a big show in Rady Car, which we got a video of that. Gus still got the video. Yeah. And when I was in Blind Justice, Marcus from Foreign Legion, he'd had a few different lineups of Foreign Legion by then, and I think the band like split up a bit. And
so when did you first meet Foreign Legion singer Marcus then?
Through the bands I was in, but we always just sang around in the Great Escape. Everyone used to play gigs in the Great Escape, and he was putting a new version of Foreign Legion together, and he had a guy called Peter Giles on guitar, no drummer, just a drum machine, and he played me the demo, and he said, look, we're going to do some shows, but we haven't got a bassist, would you be interested? I said, oh, I'm in Blind Justice. I said, I can help you out.
That's Marcus asked you that?
Yeah, Marcus asked me that. I'd known him a long time. And then we ended up going to London to do a gig with like, I think a UK subs on a bill.
And you played bass then?
Playing bass, but a drum machine. Yeah. And then from there, the boys in Blind Justice were like, oh, we're Foreign Legion doing all these gigs, and now you've got to pick like what band you're going to be in. I said, well, I'm helping them out, they said.
Yeah.
And then I decided to pick Foreign Legion, and I left Blind Justice.
They were a pretty good name by then. Had they supported the Alarm and that by then?
They supported the Alarm, Joel Strummer, they played in Paris.
So you come in after them?
I come in after them.
Like. So they're pretty good
we ended up, I think I was in a band about 4 or 5 months.
So what year did you join Legion?
88, 89,
yeah.
I remember when I was 19, so I was 89. We went to Switzerland. Yeah. We flew over to Geneva.
So you toured in Switzerland in 19?
Yeah, I'd never been abroad before on a plane, and it was like, we didn't have a drummer, and we played out in Switzerland. We got to this club, and I remember there was this goth band playing, and I love a bit of goth music, like, and it was proper dark. We goes on after them, and it was like, packed out place, but it was like the wrong bill for us, I think. It was like, we done one gig and flew back, and we were out there a couple of days. It was a good trip. So you was gigging everywhere by now, then? Yeah. Anywhere else abroad then? Or well, we went back, when we got a drummer then, Stan, he plays in quite a lot of bands. We had a drummer called Stan, Ben Stanfield, and good drummer, really good boy. We gelled then. We was Peter Giles, Stan, me and Marcus. Who's the one with the long... That's Peter Giles, that's just Peter Giles, We'll put pictures in throughout the interview. Yeah, Peter's a good boy, he's a really good guitarist. I should remember you telling me before that, didn't one member walk off in the middle of a gig to get a pint? That was Peter. Dude, he's the most unpredictable boy you'll ever meet, Peter. Well, not in the middle of a song, or just... we were playing this gig in London, we were going for it, like, stops, going into the next one. He said, hang on, boys, I gotta get a drink. Walks off the stage, goes to the bar, strolls back down.
You're fucked, like.
Right, we can start the next song now.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, and everyone just staring at us.
Right.
And it was like, oh, fair enough, Pete, but he's mad. He's a great boy to be in a band with, very unpredictable, but really good, talented songwriter. He wrote some great songs.
Yeah.
But we ended up going on a tour around Switzerland and France then, with our lineup, and
Yeah.
we were out there for like over a week, and we played some really good gigs.
So what was your first release? Was it the 4-track EP, Surf City?
Surf City. It was the first ever Foreign Legion single under a different lineup before the lineup I just mentioned. It was just a Trenchline EP.
Trenchline EP.
That's it. Record Foreign Legion had out, and then we released Surf City EP,
That's
which
4
is
tracks, yeah.
Gus. Funny enough, Gus done the album art for that. It was
Yeah.
like a skeleton on a surfboard.
Did you have any involvement in that then, writing it, or was you?
The 2 songs were written before they were recorded and written, so I didn't play on 2 songs, but the other 2 songs on it, me and Stan played on it, so
Yeah.
we wrote a couple of stuff and for
Right.
that. But Surf City, Peter Giles wrote that song. I don't know if Marcus wrote the lyrics, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we re-recorded it, and for when we recorded an album, Welcome to Vote Zindanoff is called.
Yeah, that's 1989 as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we were in the studio for months and months recording our album. It's a funny story really, because me and Stan recorded our album in one night.
Yeah.
We went in, recorded a bass and drums, there's 10 songs in the album,
Alright, yeah.
perhaps 12 songs, and Peter, as Peter is, he's like, oh, I want to try this effect out, I want to double this guitar up, and you're like, come on Pete, the money's going. Marcus had to wait for the guitars to be done so he could do his vocals. We were in there months,
Yeah.
and at the end of it, the record label like said, you're spending too much money, kicking you off a label.
Yeah.
So we had to find another label for it, and
So you finally got it out, well, obviously.
we finally got it out there, and we done loads and loads, hundreds of gigs on our lineup and everywhere really. We played.
Did you play in the famous 100 Club in London? Or was you gone by then, or?
That was before my time.
That was before,
yeah.
yeah.
Foreign Legion done a lot of gigs with like the Addicts and.
But you toured everywhere with the album?
Yeah, we played with the UK subs up in Birmingham, and yeah, we done like Bristol Beer Keller with this French band called Man and Negra. They were a big name, and we done a lot of touring. We did like London, a lot of gigs in London.
Can you remember any big bands' names you've supported?
I think the Subs are the biggest band we played with our lineup. We done a couple of like these all-day festivals, and it was a lot of the.
So I remember well, I don't know if you was in them then, the Vibrators, Partisans, the Addicts, Major Accident, Toy Dolls.
Yeah,
Angel
that was
Cap
later
Stars.
on. We toured with
That was later, was it?
Yeah, well that band then we went up until the early 90s, that lineup, and the band folded and we all like, Peter Giles left the band, I think that was the downfall of the band, and then we had a couple of different guitarists and we recorded some stuff, and the direction of the band changed really.
It was about 2 years later, 1991, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you all called it a day then, didn't you?
We all called it a day.
What was the reason for that then? Was it just...
I think once Peter left the band, it was never the same really. We couldn't get a guitarist to like fit in.
Yeah.
And when we did get one, we played a good few gigs.
Yeah.
And then we had another guitarist again, and it just didn't gel with me, and we were going different directions. When Peter was in the band, we were sort of punk.
Yeah.
I'd say we were more rock and punk. we had loads of different influences. Like every member of the band was into something different, and I think I made the band a bit special then. So we could be playing a punk riff, or it could be like heavy metal 1 minute, then it could be like punk, and it could be going into reggae, and anything like that. It was different. And at the time, I think if our album had a bigger label and better backing, and I think we would have been alright. But it was hard times again. It was money, and 90s.
Things happened to him.
Yeah.
But so you all called it a day. You then got involved in boxing, starting at Slaughterhouse now.
Yeah.
How did that come about then? Because I think you gave me my first break. You come on to me, we were drinking in a pub.
Yeah.
And you mentioned boxing, I always wanted to do it. And it was you who got me started, like. But how did you get involved with the Slaughterhouse? Was that through Marcus or his brother?
Through Marcus, I don't think a Foreign Legion was even going at that time.
Oh, you finished by then. It was about 95 we're talking now.
Yeah, we were gone then. We were gone. I hadn't seen Marcus for about 5 years, and I bumped into him walking around Merthyr, and I said, "What are you up to these days?" And he said, "Oh, I'm training now. We got this gym at the back called the Slaughterhouse." He said, "At the bottom of town." He said, "When you come down," he said, "and have a go," like, and I was like, I was doing a bit of kung fu at the time with Kevin Sheehan and Little Martin, and we were, Rambo was doing kung fu, and Dwayne and Stuart.
Do you have any belts on that, or was you just training in it? Did you do any belts?
Yeah, we did a few grade-ins. And Stuart Wakeham, John Wakeham, they were. That's where I met Phil Nichols. He was training kung fu, and he was training in Slaughterhouse and all. Yeah. So he told me about it and all. And then when I seen Marcus, I ended up going down there just training.
Yeah.
And he was packed out gym, man. Walked in, and it was like, I knew a couple of the old skinheads, and I used to go, and Marcus's brothers, Jason.
Yeah.
And it was a bit intimidated. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I won't fancy messing with half of these boys in here.
I remember watching on TV, BBC One ended up doing a documentary on it. A part of the programme it was, and it was like a 10-minute, which you appeared on. Nigel Cleaver was on there.
Yeah.
Marcus, I think, all of them. But
well, I remember Nigel Cleaver. I really liked Nigel. He was a great guy.
Good boy,
and I know you had a lot to do with him.
Yeah.
I remember sparring with Nigel,
right.
And I thought, he's not throwing a punch, but I was like, I was trying to get one in, couldn't it then? Yeah. All of a sudden he went, bang! Caught me in the face, like I could see stars. I thought I was gone. Yeah. And he smiled, like Nigel would, and he just gave a smile. And I was like, tried to like a thing, and I was like, I'm not going near that guy again.
I was the same when I come down. I walked in, it was all these fucking skinheads on, and then Cleve would walk in. What he put raps on, started in fucking bags with his knuckles. I was thinking, oh, what the fuck I got myself in for?
Another one was Blinky. Blinky used to train there, and he was dynamite and all. Yeah. He'd catch you with a punch, you'd be sparked out. Like, it's like, you think you were a big guy, you know, but with these boys, like, they were experts.
Did you get into boxing just to train, or did you have any intention to fight? Or
I think, I always, when I was younger, my father used to take me to amateur boxing and a couple of boys, and I'm thinking, I'd done a judo and I always wanted to get in the ring, but I suffered with nosebleeds all the time. I only had to tap my nose.
I remember that,
busting out all through my childhood, bad nosebleeds. Yeah. And then I knocked my teeth out then, when I was like 14 and that. And
was it a
train? Yeah, I was running down to the train station, straight over there. Car park chains straight in my face and smashed all my mouth out.
I remember that.
And
I was young when we were at school.
Yeah, I was about 14.
Yeah.
And the boxing side of it then, because it was like, I got my teeth knocked out now. I couldn't wear a gum shield because I had like all like implants and that. And it always put me off, but it was one regret. I never like had one fight or something like that because I loved
you did miss a session when I was there, I mean.
No, I loved it. And
we'd have like spar with me and all that, but
I think the only reason I stopped was like through work and stuff like that. Every time we get home from work, it was like I loved it, and as I say, introduced you to it, and look where it got you, and all the fights.
Exactly,
become a big gym, man, didn't it? Loads of fighters
come
out
of it.
Yeah.
Everyone looked up to it, the Slaughterhouse.
But I think that was a good thing again, because you talk about boxing, you'd have a good session, but everyone was into music again. You'd always have punk music playing and all that.
Yeah,
and it was like
cracking gym, innit?
and then afterwards, then I think that sparked the Foreign Legion reunion. I think getting back with Marcus and Jason and all the boys down there.
Yeah. In the late 90s, you packed up, moved everything, moved to Vegas.
Yeah.
You and Guitarist, Rambo. How did that come about?
I was always working crap, shitty jobs, and you just used to work, you know, and still living at home.
Yeah, it's the same old thing.
No responsibilities.
Yeah.
Always had food on the table, and you come home and you live for the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sundays. You just go all in money. As long as you had enough money to buy a couple of t-shirts, rock t-shirts, a couple of records, and money for concert tickets.
And we got into some states on them weekends, didn't we?
Oh, it was mad. I don't know how I got to 50.
I know me. I've seen
like
us out.
I'm still amazed sometimes.
I've seen us out running over cars, you pulling people off motorbikes.
It was great. Like, and I read your
We were
book.
young,
When I read your book, it all come flashing back to me, and it was like, no, this didn't happen, this didn't happen. You're just trying to say, no, that never happened, really.
But it was fun when it was good.
Yeah, it was
good
growing
people.
up. You're just glad there was no CCTV around.
So, going back to Vegas, like you said, your original plan was to stay out there for good, wasn't it? Find a job.
Yeah.
So, you got out there, and I think you ended up staying 3 months.
3 months,
So, how did you find Vegas? Like,
it was amazing. It was just like watching bands all the time. I seen Black Sabbath out there, Pantera, Marilyn Manson, Megadeth, the Misfits. That's all I was doing. Going to see bands, go to Rambo, go and see Alice Cooper. It was like sitting by the pool every day, drinking tequila, going to these all-you-can-eat buffets, and it was just like, just living a dream, really. And it was like, should we find a job out there and stay out there? And it was like, no, it's better to do is watch bands, and when the money starts running.
When the money runs out, it's time to go home, man.
I remember you and all the boys come out there.
Yeah, I surprised you, didn't I? Turned up your door. Didn't tell you.
I was like, that's the closest I come to having a heart attack, I think I did.
But I'll give him a shock beer now. I think you've gone out down the local
I can't
market.
No, it was one of those moments where you like walk in a room and you think this can't be happening, like in Vegas. No one used to go to Vegas in those days, or America.
No, fucking hell.
Not now, you can go on a stag night for a weekend. It was just, like, you tell someone who'd been to Vegas, they were like, look at who referred. Oh, he's lying, he hasn't been out there. But like, I bumped into Mike Tyson, didn't I, out there? Remember
that's right, go on.
Me and Rambo was like, we were...
The gym, innit?
Yeah, we were like slobbing around and drinking all the time and eating loads. It was like, we got to get some fitness in, like, we're doing loads of walking, but let's go find a gym.
Yeah.
So we found this gym. It was like an off-beaten track of the strip of Vegas. We walked in there, and I said to Rambo, look at that, Keen Tyson everywhere over the walls.
Yeah.
So we asked the guy, can we join the gym? I said, we're only out there for a couple of months. Can we buy like a pass? So he done us a deal. And when he was giving us a spiel of the gym, he said, you know Mike Tyson trains here every day, don't you? And I was like, Rambo,
So you didn't know he was there? It was off chance you just went there?
Off chance.
Yeah.
It was like a week before he was fighting Holyfield. He was that famous fight that he put his ear off.
Yeah.
And I said, we've no chance of seeing Tyson up there, man. He's just trying to get us to sign up on the dotted line, take the dollars off us, and Tyson be training. So
yeah, when you were on the running machines and you seen him coming in or something, I remember you telling us at the time.
Me and Rambo walked in.
Yeah.
I didn't have a camera on me. It was only those crappy cop-back cameras, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Left it in the apartment, walks in, Tyson was there on an exercise bike.
Yeah.
And I said to Rambo, I'm going on a bike next to him now. He said, you look like an idiot, man. I said I'll do a bit. So I goes next to Tyson now, and I goes, all right, back. He's pedaling like that, looking at me like if I had horns in my head.
Yeah.
So
was he a bit thing like? Did he have bodyguards with him?
Oh yeah, they were all around, all in army here.
Yeah.
They were all around, Team Tyson everywhere. So there's me now. I done about 10 minutes. He was there for an hour, pedaling full pelt.
Yeah.
So I used to have a tattoo with Tyson, but it all went faded, and that's why I had it covered
I remember
over.
that was one of your first ones, isn't it?
Yeah, I had it done in a tattoo convention.
Yeah, so wasn't it?
And throughout the years, it started fading, and that's why I had it covered up. But when I had it, I said to one of these guys, he's about 7 foot tall, dressed in army gear. I said, he had Team Tyson on his arm tattooed there. I just went and walked up to him and I said, alright. And he blanked me, didn't want to know. I said, nice Tyson tattoo. No response.
Yeah.
Just blanked me.
What
I said, you never get nowhere near him. I said, I got a Tyson tattoo on my leg.
Yeah.
Caught his attention, turned round.
Yeah.
He said, "Give us a look, man." I was like looking up for him. He's massive, right?
Right.
I showed him like, he said, "Have Mike seen that?" I said, "No." He said, when he's finished on that bike, but I know, he said, "I'll take you down and you can show him."
Fuck yeah.
I was like, "Rambo, we've done it, son." I said, "You're gonna come down with me and all Rambo?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, definitely." So I said to Rambo, "We're gonna meet Tyson now."
Yeah.
So he finished his exercise bike. His bodyguard said, "Right, come down." So he was sitting on a bike like he just finished. And he said, "Show him there, stand there, show him." So I had it on my leg there, pulled it up. Tyson like, "Wow, man," he said, "I can't believe you had that." Then he said, "Do you want tickets to the fight? Do you want where you're from and all that?" And I said, "The Rambo." He didn't bear now. Shaking I was like, shook my hand, and he was like, I said, "I love tickets to the fight." Then he said, "Let's give my assistant your address, where you're staying, and I would sort that out. Can't believe it."
Yeah.
And he said,
"You sound nosy."
Yeah, sound.
Yeah.
And it was like 3 days before the fight.
Fucking in his prime.
And it was like in his prime, seeing Tyson, not an ounce of fat in him, ripped.
Yeah.
And he was like, he said, "I still can't get over that, man." And he was like,
fucking hell. Yeah.
so I said, "Can I have an autograph?" I said, he said, "When I've had a shower and I know," he said, "I'll come back out." He said, "I'll make sure." So all his crew now took me and Rambo outside.
Yeah.
We all had a photo with him.
Right.
But Tyson then was having a shower. He come out. We got a tiny bit of paper like that from a desk. Grabbed the pen.
Right.
And he said, as he come out, he said, "I'll sign off for you now." So he said, "What's your name?" And he said, "Make sure you have those tickets now." And he went.
Yeah.
And we was just like stunned, like
Yeah.
no mobile phones, nothing, couldn't phone anyone.
Yeah.
So we were buzzing all day, like, did that really happen? Because he was like a giant at the time. When he
course you was,
97, you couldn't get bigger, can you?
I remember I think you phoned me or you
Yeah,
I remember you
we went back to the
buzzing
park
with
and
it.
I was phoning it, trying to phone, cost me a fortune, and he was like,
Oh.
"Any photo evidence?" No.
Oh, it's a
But
shame.
I still got that photo framed now. I bought a photo,
Yeah.
and I still got it in the house, and it's to Mark. And when he come to Merthyr, I never seen him. It's typical, there.
Yeah. Well, you met him in
From
Vegas.
Merthyr
From
down,
Vegas,
never meeting him, but I met him in his prime. It's better, I think.
Las
you know.
Vegas. Like.
Yeah, he's gone a bit.
You also met Tom Jones, didn't you? Out there.
Yeah, Tom Jones.
How was that? You went to see him like you? Or?
That was when we were out there for a week's holiday. I was.
Or was it different?
Colin and Rambo, different time.
And you went to see him live and...
We bought tickets. Well, Mikey Flynn was out there talking about Mikey Flynn.
Mike, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't come to the concert, but
Yeah.
it was me, my mother, and father.
So how did you get to meet him, man? Because
that's a good story, that is, because
yeah.
my mother, like, we were going in and my mother said, "Oh, it's St. David's Day today, any chance of going to see Tom, like, after the show, because we're from Merthyr?"
Yeah.
His assistant was like, "Yeah, we'll try and sort something out for you." I said, "That'll never happen, man. Don't happen to people like us."
Shit. Yeah.
So we watched the concert. It wasn't like a packed arena and that. It was like a lounge show.
Yeah.
It was in the MGM Grand. We went there near the MGM Grand.
Yeah,
Remember we went there?
Yeah.
It was like all tables, I guess, and we'd sit down and Tom was on a stage. He was outstanding and he'd grab you drinks and it was about 1,000 people, but nice, like, setting. So after the concert finished now, he was like, "Oh, it's brilliant." So going out, then the assistant said, oh, the party from Wales, Tom would like to see you backstage. I was like, oh, this is not happening, man.
Tom Jones in Vegas.
Tom Jones in Vegas. So he goes back.
Yeah.
And his band was there, and he said, have a drink, and then Tom walks in the room, lit up the room like he was stocky in those days, like he was a big guy.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, where are you from, then? I said, Merthyr Tydfil. Oh, I buy all my bikes up there, my good mate Bob Wilding, he said.
Bob
He said, I'm often up in Merthyr when I'm back in Wales, he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, we were all there talking to him. He was the nicest bloke you'd ever meet.
Yeah.
Not like some rock stars, they'd come in, they'd sign an autograph. He was talking for about an hour. We were there, we were like, oh, we were overstaying our welcome, but he was like backstage, he had his own bar and that.
Yeah.
So
he loved it.
Yeah, he got the ticket signed, and he was like, my mother and father couldn't believe it. Like, he was like, never met anyone like that before, and it was like, well, I hadn't met any like mega stars.
Yeah.
At that time, like, and he was a megastar. When he had, like Tyson was a year after.
Yeah. Wasn't the shoot with Tupac when he was up there? Or was that different?
No,
time?
it was about a year after.
Something happened.
I did get shot on a bus. They blew the window out when I was going. It was the same time we met Tom Jones. Was
it?
Same week we know the rough part of Vegas.
Yeah.
The old part downtown.
Yeah.
We caught the bus back from we had a night out down there.
Yeah.
And we were on a normal bus.
Yeah.
And we were going up.
I remember that, right?
And it was just the loudest bang I've ever heard. And we took the back of the bus and dived on the floor. The old window of the bus shattered.
Fuck yeah.
And there was the bus driver pulled up and he said, oh, it was a bit of gang activity. He said, scary for that. I was like,
as that happens,
I said, it's different to the Guitarist. This is like,
But MGM Grand, going back to that, I remember when I came out to you, we went to see the wrestlers, DDP.
Yeah.
A Macho Man, that was me, wasn't it?
Yeah, Macho Man.
And we thought we missed him, we were walking back out, and they passed us, didn't they?
Yeah.
But
Elizabeth and all was there when she was.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
We had some good photos of DDP.
Yeah.
For some reason, we didn't have, I don't think our cameras are packed in. We did
Cameras
when we
are packed
Macho
in,
Man.
the queues are big, weren't they?
Yeah.
He was doing all his...
The queues went down then, didn't he? It was like me and you
there.
there.
No batteries or something.
We didn't have no batteries.
It's the story of my life, right? The cameras.
Same again.
So always when you meet someone, like either the batteries go on the camera, your phone goes dead, or you haven't got a camera on you, or it's like you regret it then. And for years later, you still kicking yourself like.
Exactly. Any memorable moments from Vegas? Or you said a good few, but there. But did you meet anyone else out there?
We didn't really meet anyone else out there, but I'd say we've seen loads of bands. We went. Well, the night of the Tyson fight.
Right.
It was the same night we had our tickets to go to the Ozfest.
Ozfest,
Black Sabbath, Ozzy, Marilyn Manson, Pantera.
You were going to miss out.
Typo Negative. It was like a dream gig for me. Fear Factory, Machine Head. It was like I said, if I get these tickets, Ram, I'm not going to go. I said I can't miss this, and he was like, oh.
Yeah, it's awkward, wasn't it?
So where the tickets ended up, I don't know, because we seen his assistant a couple of days after we met him. He said the tickets were sent. I reckon someone nicked the tickets. Like he must have gone to but it was a bit of controversial fight when because I remember Ozzy when he come on stage, because I didn't know what he was on about. He said he bit his ear off. Yeah. He said, I bite the bat's head. He said, but he bit his ear off, Tyson. And I was like, what the hell's going on? It was supposed to be riots in the place. Like, it was like, so it was one of those things where, what would you have done? Tyson or Black Sabbath? I go to the Black Sabbath.
Yeah. One of the most memorable moments I remember is in being in Vegas. Me and you go to a porn convention.
Oh.
Well, there's not many
people.
people.
Look at the photos then the other day, crazy.
There's not many people say they've been to a porn convention in Vegas. For some reason, the boys want to go.
Nah.
So me and you went on our own.
We were playing roulette first, and
roulette, casinos, we were like rock stars with me. And then I remember you in the porn convention. you done an interview for Orange TV. They thought you were a big rock star, and you had the stage on the air.
Oh, I had the tan and everything. It was
Tan.
like orange. Been out there like.
Just so the record straight, we were both single them days.
We were.
But
I still got the photos though.
yeah, it was great times, wasn't it?
Signed photos and all. I was up there the other day.
Then, come 2000, Foreign Legion reformed. With the original lineup was split in 1991. So how did that come about then?
Well, that was another thing again. I bought it. I hadn't played guitar for a long time, and as I say, I went from being a bass player in Foreign Legion to being the guitarist down in Foreign Legion. So I'd done double duties in Foreign Legion. I was a bass player and I played on recordings as a bass player, and I played on a guitar. But as another thing, I just bought a guitar and I started writing songs. Didn't know what I was going to do with these songs.
Yeah.
Anyone familiar with Foreign Legion? The first ever song I wrote was Wake Up.
Alright, yeah.
And it was a lot of people in Merthyr at the time pinching cars, and it was a bit depressing really, and it was like writing these lyrics, living around this place, and there's like no respect, and it was that song's all about that, and I wrote about 5 songs. I just sit there every day writing songs, and I thought, what am I going to do with these songs? I'll get a new band going, and I bumped into Marcus again. I said,
so you stayed in touch with Marcus, obviously you'd see him
yeah,
boxing
you'd probably see him around. I was like, I wrote these songs. I said, I don't know if you want to listen to them. And I said, is this new thing out now? I said, called the Internet. And I said, I'm in touch with all these bands that we used to play with and all that, Major Accident. And he couldn't get over it, so he came up my house when I was living in Dowlais, played him these songs. He said, let's get a band back together. And I was like, who are we going to have in the band? I said, we can go get new members who's never played in Foreign Legion, or we can dive back into the endless list of members of the band and ask anyone, do they want to? He said, well, Stan has always been
stayed in touch
I said, I know Stan from around, we can ask him. And I said, well, Andrew Eggy used to play guitar in Foreign Legion. And I said, he's local. I said, I think he plays bass now. I said, we'll ask him. So we, Pentrabar Cricket Club.
I remember it well.
Marcus used to work down there, lived down there, didn't he? So he asked them, can we practice? So first practice session.
Sunday morning.
We said to the boys, if we want to be in the band, turn up. We'll have a good session. So we got 5 songs written, we'll take it from there. So as soon as we played those songs, it gelled straight away. You knew we had something.
Oh, it was good,
and I think it was like an era of the band. I don't think it'll ever be repeated. It was something special. It was like the songs were good,
or catchy, or rock, punk.
And it was like we only had the set up, and we could play a set like after a couple of weeks we knew it was something going to go on. So then we got in contact with a few bands, and then we started. I think we played our first show in Cardiff, didn't we? When my brother was working in that cafe place. And the Merthyr band was Minus Uno, remember them? And Matthew on the drums.
You've done a gig with was it Temple Tudor? That's
Temple Tudor.
Is that the one?
We done a gig in Cardiff with Temple Tudor.
He was crackers, wasn't he?
Oh, mental. Who Killed Bambi? We had a photo with them, didn't we? I don't know. I
don't know where it is.
we done a good few gigs then, didn't we?
You started gigging everywhere up there,
the White Lion up there, I passed it the other day, those gigs in there were brilliant.
Crackers, you were up in the rafters.
We went to Derby, Leicester, we played with Peter and the Test Tube Babies.
I come everywhere with you, good time.
Well, you were like our stroke security, cameraman, everything.
As well, I love the music.
You get on stage and your brother was like, would your brother come on tour in America with us? That was the big thing for us, I think.
We'll get on to that in a bit. So you ended up going to the studio then with Stuart Richardson, who was the bass guitarist for the Lost Prophets. I don't want to mention them again. No. That's just a singer.
That's a name that's like forgotten now.
But How did that come about then? Because didn't you record, it was a split album, wasn't it? With Major Accident.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, first of all, we recorded an EP, and it's the first one, We Wake Up, Where's Johnny Gone, and
Oh yeah,
we recorded that in Blackwood.
Yeah, you done 3
Shout to the
EPs,
Sticks
didn't
in Blackwood, yeah, it was... And the Manics had recorded their first ever single there, and it was all these... Manics had a single called Suicide Alley, and it sells for like £2,000, these 7-inch singles, and they were all around. I wish I'd nicked one out. When I look back at it, I could have nicked it easy, and it was like, just didn't know the art to do it.
That's right, because you released 3 EP
yeah,
singles,
we done the EPs.
No Punks, is it?
Yeah, we done Years Gone By EP.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And then we had a chance. Then to do a split album with, because we've been in contact with our band Major Accident.
Yeah. How did you go for a full album, man? You just because you had enough tracks, or was it?
I think that they wanted to do this.
They wanted to split
because we had a song called Clockwork Poppin' Orange, and Major Accident had the Clockwork Image and all that bowler hats and that. So they done the split album.
It worked out well. Did you end up going to America with
them?
Oh,
we ended up going on tour with them, man, to America. But that is a brilliant Cry of the Legion is called, and it's a great. I'd like to see a re-release now on vinyl and CD, and I think a lot of the old Foreign Legion stuff should be re-released. I've left the band 12 years now, and they still go.
How many times have you been in the band? 4?
Oh, I don't know.
3, 4?
I left a couple of times. I left then. When we had that lineup, it was Andrew Eggy bass, Stan drums.
Yeah.
Me guitar, Marcus singing. We did that big run that we done America.
Well, I just say 2001.
And
you done an East Coast tour of America, didn't you?
Yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia, right as far as Boston.
We done all the East Coast, and we played at one massive gig for us, and massive for me because CBGBs.
Yeah.
All the bands I was into, like. I like a lot of punk bands, but I like New York hardcore bands, Agnostic Front, Sick of It All, The Misfits, and all these bands have played CBGBs over the years. The Ramones, Blondie, and all that. It was one of these famous places. It was like we used to do lots of gigs. It was like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like buying all these thrash metal hardcore albums, all the covers, CBGBs. You're wondering, oh, where's this? Like. And when you got it, it was a dive of a place, right, in a rough part of New York, but it was amazing. Yeah. And
before you go on, John, let me stop you here. Let's show you in action in CBGBs.
Yeah.
We're Foreign Legion from South Wales and UK. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Right, so how did that go, John? That was amazing bit of footage for that.
Well, we walked in there, you can ask your brother, and it was like, there was no one in there, it was empty, and we had the place to ourselves taking photos, and it was like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it, I couldn't, it was stepping foot in there, man, couldn't play a gig in that.
There's posters there with the Ramones, WR and all that, is it?
Yeah, I was just like, the history of that place, it was like, if you go on YouTube now and just like, any band who's anyone who played, it was just like the, even stuff, people like Blondie's, Creer, Lou Reed, everyone like that, Ramones just played it all the time. But it was a band I really liked called the Cro-Mags.
Alright.
They were like a New York hardcore band, real mental, like, and they had an album called The Age of Quarrel, and I never forget. We were in, I think it was Stephen Thomas's flat in the Guitarist, and I think it was me, Dickie.
Right.
It was like all these boys into metal and punk and all that. And we put this Age of Quarrel on, and we were all slam diving in the flat and that. And it was like, when we got the CBGBs, it was like, what am I doing here, like from the Guitarist up in that flat, listening to this, to bands who dominated playing here. So a couple of months before we had gone out there, I'd gone to TJ's, which was like the Welsh version of CBGBs. You've been loads of times yourself now. And a band from New York had come over, Agnostic Front, and I had given the singer the Foreign Legion records and that. And I said, oh, we're going to be playing in New York in a couple of months. And he said, oh, I'll come and see you. Yeah. And I was like, oh, tidy. And I never thought he'd be there. Like,
he was there, like.
So I walks outside CBGB's. He pulls up in his big classic cars, like proper American old school classic car. And he gets out the car and he said, all right. He said, I told you I'll come to the show, didn't I?
Shit.
I was like, I got a photo of it. I had a photo with him.
Yeah.
I walked in, I said, Roger Myret from Agnostic Front has just come to the gig, and the boys are saying, nah, no way. I said, it is, I just had a photo with him.
Yeah.
So it went full circle, all these bands I love.
Oh, big thing.
And they come to watch your shows, and you normal
How
people.
did you find the crowd then for your gig?
I was mental.
It took you well.
That was the best show I ever played with Foreign Legion, hands down. Now, there were any...
It's gotta be in
it.
Massive,
it was just packed to the rafters.
Yeah.
It was queues going up, and it was like...
Who's headlining that then?
The Templars,
Templars,
Templars and Major Accent were the two. It was about 5 or 6 bands on the bill.
Yeah.
And it was just like a brilliant experience, and it just still, like... We got that video on YouTube, and when you watch it, like it's like CBGB's is no more now, and it's just like a part of history.
It's like you said, the internet was born then, and at the time, I remember it was beaming live on the internet.
Yeah, that's the live.
So I had a little video camera trying to film this computer screen just for you, and it was cutting out. I mean, but it was lucky you got hold of the footage which you showed just now, like.
Before we had done that gig, we had played with the Dropkick Murphys, which is the original poster there.
I was in Boston, wasn't I?
That was, we met them in Boston,
Yeah.
on that tour.
Oh, that's
But,
TJ's that one,
That's the TJ's one, so that's the original poster.
Yeah.
And I was a band called Running Riot from Belfast. You were actually at that show, weren't you? When you won't
Yeah,
get
they
that
invited
gig.
you when
That was my second
you were
favourite.
Marcus up on stage to sing with them.
Yeah.
That was an amazing gig, wasn't it?
That was my second favourite show with Foreign Legion. You won't beat those gigs. And we done another one in TJ's with the UK subs and all that. Was a pretty the original lineup, the subs.
Talking about the Murphys there, when you was doing a show in Boston, weren't you?
Yeah.
And next door they were filming a video, weren't they?
Yeah, they were filming the Gauntlet and in this famous bar. And
Spicy McGarg's video as well, wasn't it?
yeah.
So, did you see them at the end? Did you
Yeah,
meet
they
them?
come in to watch the gig.
They come in
And,
to watch you, didn't they?
I remember tuning my guitar up and Ken Casey taps me on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
and we were all outside after, and I did have all the photos, but then another story is a year later I went out to Florida on holidays, and the Murphys are playing in Florida, so I had them back and I just tapped them on the shoulder and went alright then. But I tell you what,
This is my small world, isn't it?
out of every band I've ever played with,
Yeah.
the Murphys probably the biggest out of all of them, right?
Yeah.
And
Massive.
they're the salt of the earth. All the band, they sound guys like just like us, just normal guys.
You still speak to them to this day, don't you?
I was with them last year, Mark Kelly, the drummer.
Yeah.
I've stayed in contact with them ever since that gig, and that's going back like nearly 20 years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was their first ever tour. So I got his email address, we exchanged emails, and I was only talking to him a couple of months ago, funny enough.
Yeah.
But I sent him an email and he said come up to the Birmingham show. So me and Claire and my wife Claire, we went up and I was, after the show we went back talking to him, and like I've had photos of him so many times, sometimes you don't want photos all the time, like, and we had a good chat, and he was just like one of the boys, and he never forgot you. Like he's and Ken Casey, all the band, they'd all make a fuss, and I don't know how many times I've seen the Murphys now. It's like, but they're an outstanding band.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one better modern band than the Dropkick Murphys in that punk scene. They're just brilliant.
Yeah.
But never forgotten where they come from like that.
No, fair enough.
No rock stars in that band.
Yeah. The
Great
next
guys.
full-length album, man, 2002, What Goes Around Comes Around. Produced by Mick Jones, the Clash. Was you involved in that in?
Yeah,
Anything?
I recorded, I think it was four, 5 songs, and we had a bit of
I
a...
think Marcus had met him and he had the football and started chatting
Oh,
with him.
don't talk to me about that story. Marcus dragged me up there, watch QPR. He said, oh, we meet Mick Jones today, now he'll be in the pub. And I was like, yeah, alright, Dad. I drove up and Marcus was like, yeah, he'll be in the pub now in the same place.
Aye.
I'm not a QPR fan, you know, we're red Liverpool.
Liverpool,
What the
yeah.
hell am I doing watching QPR? Like, no interest in that. When he went up there to meet Mick Jones, walks in the pub. Where is he, Shark?
Yeah.
Oh, he can't be here today. Stitched up.
Did you ever meet him in the end?
Never ever met the guy.
Still not met him?
Nah, still never met him from this day.
Was he,
I met Joe Strummer though with Marcus.
oh, you did do?
Yeah, we went to see Joe Strummer in Cardiff Uni. That was another camera incident again. The guy who put out gigs on in Switzerland had come over, so we took him to see Joe Strummer. So Marcus, with his magic, got us backstage. So Joe Strummer sitting in the corner, gets up. And Marcus always said he knew Joe Strummer, and I was like, does he really? Like, he gets up, how are you, Marcus, shakes his hand, and we didn't have I said, oh, let's have a photo, the boy, oh, the camera, the film's run out, the camera.
Yeah, not much luck with cameras, do we?
So I met Joe Strummer, and he was a really nice guy, and he had some mega stars in his band. There was a guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers on the drums, Jack Irons. There was someone from another band that I called the Circle Jerks. And we were all in this room, and it was like, he was sound. Joe Strummer, and I regret it. I never had that photo. Like, I had his autograph. I even lost the autograph. Strummer autograph. How much would that be worth now? Like, but nice guy.
But Mick Jones went on to do a couple of videos, didn't he, for the newer songs? The ones
going back to that album, I think I recorded 3, 4, 5 songs.
What was the 3 songs you've done the videos for? We should
Clockwork
we tried again what the video
Clockwork Pop and Orange, I think it's Jump and that's like a cartoon.
and
It's brilliant, yeah, we got to get it on YouTube.
we'll get it on YouTube soon now.
But I left the band halfway through that album.
I was going to say he was replaced by Frankie Visani on guitar. And you from mine? I know you'd met your wife Claire then, and you just had a new kid.
It was just getting too much for me going to gigs, and I had to get it. I just had too much going on, and it was like when you start getting like with bands and you've got to tour and playing gigs away and that all the time. It just got. I just
had a new kid as well.
they had the house and.
Yeah.
I just lost interest in it, and I still love the music and all that, but the gig side of it and the hassle. I love playing gigs, but the hassle of getting into them and I just got fed up with it. Yeah. But then Frank joined the band and he finished the rest of the album. I really like a lot of songs.
You still had involvement with it, didn't you?
Yeah, I played on. I think it's my favourite song I played on the Foreign Legion on our album called Obvious. It's like a reggae sort of. It reminds me of the Rats. I wrote it, and it's not much lyrics to it.
Yeah.
But I read the songs of Frank on our album. This is some really good songs because later on, then about a couple of years later, I ended up joining them again.
Yeah,
and I started playing the songs that Frank had written on those albums, and it was good. Like.
Yeah. You also tried to hand then, once you had a break from Legion again, DJing. I remember, I think it was Pitman's. You was doing a date up here, and I was on the piss, I come and watch you up here.
Yeah.
And then we said we were still friends, and then we started in RM's Rock Club.
Oh, brilliant time.
We come up with the idea, it was me, you and my brother, and your brother Martin.
Yeah.
We're doing a punk night, and you started DJing, so I was finding out it was good times.
We started off on a Thursday night, and we thought, we might get about 50 people the first night, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was at the times of like Limp Bizkit and Papa Roach,
it was all
down, Deftones, so in Merthyr, it was a big scene.
Good era,
and I was always into not just punk music, I was always into like even hip hop, and I love the Wu-Tang Clan and Ice-T. I've seen like loads of hip hop. I got a big taste of music from goth, punk, metal, death metal, hip hop. I love everything I do.
But it took right off, didn't it? I think
it's massive.
Between us all, we reborn, or not reborn. It brought a new era, you know what I mean? You had the Blackout Boys wearing...
Oh, it was amazing. They were 10-minute preview when they first started.
Yeah.
And my brother got on board then, didn't we? And we had like Skin Red there, we had Funeral for a Friend. Even Biffy Clyro played up there.
We was getting 150, 200 people a night in our place, like, and...
But to think Biffy Clyro played up there, and when they like an headlining Download and Reading, and I know, it's like
smart,
massive. Like I worked at Biffy Clyro gig and rammed in Cardiff, 8,000 people, and you're thinking, they played up in Merthyr, like, and it was like in a club, not many people know that. Yeah. And then my brother started promoting, didn't he? And so we'd have like DJing and bands, and I went down the store.
Well, we had Battle of the Bands, didn't we?
Yeah.
And you become a singer.
I know.
So was this something you always wanted to do? Is this Summer Day and Fast?
Yeah, that was Matthew from a Blackout, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Snaz from a Blackout.
You had two future
your brother bands. Stephen on guitar, Luke on the bass.
Luke and...
And we wrote a couple of songs, and it was like...
But you got through a couple of rounds. I think
we got to the final. Yeah. I thought, I want to be a front man for this. Now, I'm not the best singer, but...
I remember you were...
We done a Billy Idol song, didn't we?
That's right,
White Wedding.
White Wedding, went on a storm.
Yeah, it was brilliant. That was my singing career over after that. I never sang again. But the Blackout, you got to mention the Blackout, because for me, like going from our club, seeing them as kids, didn't...
DJs,
seeing them going up, 10-minute preview. Yeah. You had Sean Smith. Bella,
Yeah.
who was like doing a bit of
Gavin,
DJing
yeah.
instead of us when we were there.
Yeah,
And then we got
Gavin.
Gavin,
It was all of them,
Matthew, Snoz, Reese, and Bob on the guitar. And
It was only a couple of years later they formed the Blackout, wasn't it?
yeah, when I seen them as 10-minute preview, I thought, oh, they got potential, these boys. It was that Limp Bizkit-y type music.
Yeah.
And then
They
when
got-
the
they done
Blackout
well,
took
didn't they?
off, I was like, God, what
Yeah.
that band done from a Merthyr band is like
Yeah.
main stage in Download, travelled the world,
Grand
supported
stage,
Limp
right.
Bizkit, the biggest band to come out of Merthyr.
Front page Kerrang.
No other band will touch them coming out of Merthyr because they put Merthyr on the map.
It was quite a shock when they split up because I think
Yeah.
you knew we done Scooty for their last gig, didn't
Yeah, really car.
That was big upset for Merthyr, I think, because I don't know why they had their reasons probably, but
I think it was the same sort of thing with me when I
with bands,
you
yeah.
get kids and you get
Yeah.
relationships and you get houses and you've got to get a job and bands. You could be touring the world but not making money.
Yeah.
It gets pumped back into other things. Like I never made a penny with Foreign Legion. I was like,
Yeah.
you won't pay 1 pence. And
But it was entertainment, it was enjoyable.
Oh, I didn't do it for the money.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be in a punk band for money unless
Yeah.
you were like.
Most of the bands these days are the same, and it
That's
is.
it. Unless you're up there like the
Yeah.
Dropkick Murphys and the Metallicas and all that.
yeah. It's a lucky break, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Pick-
It's all
right
about the
person,
record
pick the lad.
labels and all.
Exactly. 5 years later then, 2007 we're in now, you joined Foreign Legion, you're back in,
Yeah.
and how do you find, it was you, two guitarists then?
Two guitarists.
How do you find that work? Was he doing solos? Was you doing solos?
We were mixing it up, so
That's Frankie or Frankie Bizarre.
Frankie, nice guy, Frankie.
So you've been in
He's
it for a
very
few
quiet
years.
and
Very quietly.
he had a completely different sound to me. So he had the more like Clash sort of sound. I was always into the Metallicas and the Slayers and bands like that, and
Yeah.
my guitars always be cranked up distortion.
Yeah.
Even when I was like playing punk music, I still had that metal sound, and I can't play guitar any other way. I can't play clean.
But I seen the way, I think it was a gig in TJ's, and you had Marcus Ever jumping on the stage.
Yeah.
And you had Frankie was just quiet.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you said.
great.
And I was you like a psychopath, jumping
Yeah.
around and spinning. And
Yeah.
but it all seemed to work. It was
I
good,
think,
good sound.
and we had Martin Richards on the bass because Andrew Eggy was still in the band,
Yeah.
and then he left, and they had Martin in, so it was Frankie,
Yeah.
Martin, Stan, and Marcus. Then Marcus asked me to join as like a backup, like
Yeah.
beef it up a bit guitarist.
Yeah.
So my first experience playing with them, I learned the songs. I didn't even have a guitar, to tell the truth. I jacked it all in. I sold everything, and I had no interest in it. I just like, that was my past. I can't be bothered. And then I bought a guitar and he asked me to jam. And me and Frank used to feed off each other. He had a different style and it worked well. And we ended up writing some really good songs then for the Death Valley album.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
He was
gigging out as well, yeah.
Yeah, we went to Dublin. We went to Prague. That gig in Prague was another outstanding gig.
Right.
We done the Stiff Little Fingers gigs and
Yeah. Well, the following year, I think it was 2008, I think Frankie had left, and you were joined by Jared Owens and Paul Black on drums.
all that, yeah.
So, what was the new lineup? Was it just a four-piece then?
Yeah, Frank left the band. We done a gig in Dublin and Frank left, and then I think Stan and Martin were like a bit.
They finished.
We done a gig with Bad Manners in TJ's, and that was a great gig.
Alright.
But it was like Stan was playing in other bands.
He didn't have
And
a
then-
time, did he really?
Something happened, and then
Yeah.
we had Paul Black in when Frank was in the band to do a gig with Stiff Little Fingers in a coal exchange because Stan couldn't do it, so Paul Black filled in. And it was an amazing gig. It was ram-packed, and he fitted in brilliant. Stan's a brilliant drummer, different style to Paul Black, but Paul Black had the look and he had the attitude. Like he gave the band a new lift for me.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed playing that gig.
You went to Prague everywhere with them?
Yeah.
4-piece now?
We went to Prague, but we went to Budapest with Paul Black and Jared, yeah. And after that gig, it was like things weren't going very good. We weren't practicing all that. And then Stan, something happened and we had a bit of a tiff, and he was out of the band, and Martin left then. Martin quit then straight away.
So you had the 4-piece then?
Yeah, so we went. I said, I'll ask Paul Black, does he want to join? I said, he's done that gig with Stiffle Fingers. You can't get. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I said, we got to find a bass player. So I knew Jared as Geraint, his father. I'd known him a long time when we. Yeah. And so I asked him. So we just gelled. It was a good lineup. Yeah. We done that gig in the Merthyr College with the UK Subs, outstanding. Yeah, I remember that, yeah. And then we went in the studio in Motorhead, Phil Campbell's house. Dane, his son, had a studio in Tree Forest.
Do you meet Phil Campbell?
Yeah, he came in, and I think Paul knew Phil Campbell anyway, because Paul had a connection with Motorhead. One of his mates used to work for Motorhead. Yeah. So Phil used to come in when we recorded there. We recorded Reality Bites, it's called, an EP.
Split track with it.
Yeah, it was Sledgeback.
Sledgeback, yeah.
And that
came out in 2010, or didn't it?
Yeah.
But
that is like Foreign Legion at its tightest and heaviest on record, I think. It was like really like. My guitars are really heavy and the drumming.
How come they didn't write new songs for that and redone the old ones?
Yeah, we hadn't wrote, because we were gigging a lot. We would like doing loads of different shows and we never wrote nothing. Yeah. And we done Where's Johnny Gone Again. We done Sunset on Babylon again. Yeah. Jump again. Yeah, we just re-recorded them. Yeah. We had money to go into a studio, no songs written. And I said, well, let's get these songs done with this lineup. We typed, and just do them heavier. It don't even sound like punk to me.
We had some good times on tour with them,
Yeah, brilliant. But we done a gig with UK Subs and TJs of that. I think you come down to it, didn't you? Yeah. Excellent.
After a gig in TJ's then, November 2008, I think you spoke the Anti-Nobody.
Yeah.
You then posted a statement on the band's MySpace account saying you were finished.
Yeah.
Again. For obvious reasons. I think that's the last time you was in the menu.
Yeah, it was
was it just want to move on again?
I loved the lineup, but it was just like getting on top of me again. I just had a job doing security down in the Motor Point Arena, and I was getting into that, and I had to make some money. And every gig we were booking, it was clashing with a major gig in the arena, and I thought, I can't give up work to play.
You got to live and you get money.
That's it.
It's a shame,
it was nothing to do with the boys. It was a great lineup.
You kept in touch with all the boys to this day, like.
Well, I quit, and then Paul Black and Jared just left then, and Marcus got a new lineup going, and but that was I'd love to see that Reality Bites come out on vinyl and like special edition. Yeah. Because I don't even own a copy of any Foreign Legion record or nothing. No. Yeah. It was. I like to see them all re-released, and even for the boys, like to get them copies.
Yeah. Well, who knows the future holds?
Yeah, but it was a different. It was a. After I left, then I jacked in bands, and that was it. We did try. Me, Paul Black, and Jared did try to get a band going, but it was just like.
What was that called?
Machine Gun Etiquette. We practiced a good few times, but we were all.
See the picture of see it, actually looks good, yeah.
Yeah, we were all busy and then it never happened, but
Yeah.
the security industry kicked off for me, and I'd say 12 years I've been in that now, and
Yeah. Would you have any advice for up and coming bands starting up? Because you know how hard it is yourself for you. Mark is constantly, you know, trying to get new gigs.
Yeah.
Yourself, it's a hard game, isn't it? Would you have any
Yeah.
advice for anyone?
I think you just got to stick to your guns and play what you want to play. Don't go jumping from trend to trend and like this band are big now and try and copy them. Just get a band, play what you want to play, and don't worry about what anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And just get out there and don't worry about the money side of it. Just play,
Get it done,
build
yeah.
a following, get a network going, but keep recording, because without those recordings, live gigs are forgotten about the next day. Recordings are there forever.
Exactly.
And if you like going back through the years, if you had those recordings of some of the good bands I've been in, you can listen to them for the rest of your life. A gig is a flash.
Exactly.
Enjoy the night, but get recording, boys. If you're getting a band together, get those records out there,
Yeah.
and just keep recording and and just stick to your guns. Don't change for no one. Don't let a record label say, "Oh, I want you to sound like Liam Gallagher. I want you to sound like the Killers." Just do what you want to
Stick to
do.
your guns. Good advice.
Yeah.
You supported so many people, it's all too many to name. I mean, we said Murphy's and the rest. Any memorable? What's probably your most memorable gig? Like you said, CBGB's.
Yeah.
But any funny stories from any of the gigs? Stories from any of the gigs with any of the other bands, or off the top of your head?
One of my favourite gigs is the Misfits. In
Supporting them,
Exchange,
yeah?
supporting the Misfits, yeah. Jerry Only from the Misfits, he's a character, like he's just like a real sound guy, like but a proper big character. He done a bit of wrestling. They were like
WCW.
him and years later, I met his brother from the Misfits. I was working
Right.
a gig down for Jen Doyle, his name is, and I got a photo with him.
Alright.
But Jerry Only is like a proper character, like tell you as it is, and but the Misfits are just a lead to play with the Misfits. For me, it was like unbelievable. Say the Murphys, Stevie GB's, Misfits.
Yeah.
There's a couple of bands I played with, like
Yeah.
great bands, but the people in the bands don't bother you sometimes. Like I won't go into any naming names, but it's a bad experience. You play with your favourite bands and
Yeah.
they don't even say hello, like, and
Not good.
but like the Murphys, Misfits, and
Very different. Altogether.
Charlie Harper from UK Subs, still going.
Yeah.
Green Air, 70 years of age, Salt of the Earth,
Yeah.
loves Foreign Legion, introduced us when we played Merthyr College, and people like that I got time for. These other bands are just like rock stars and just can't be bothered. It's like wrestlers, isn't it? Like you know, doing wrestling, some boys brilliant, and then others keep myself.
You're gonna have it, and you're gonna put a bad everywhere.
You get that all the time, but
What do you think? Go on.
I don't think there's any need for it. Like,
No. What do you think of the current? You're still following bands, obviously. What do you think of the current punk scene, rock scene?
yeah, it's.
Has it changed anyway?
Some of the bands I call new bands have been going 20 years, that's the problem.
we should win
I go work loads of gigs and I'm like, even bands like Parkway Drive and that, it was like I was working them last year and they played a gig in Merthyr in a studio bar.
Yeah.
And I said to the singer, my brother put you on in Merthyr, and he was like, Parkway Drive have been going like 15 years now and I call them a new band. It's like, I thought Pretty Vicious from Merthyr had a lot of potential.
They did, yeah.
And I went to see them a good few times and they gripped me. I thought, oh yeah, the singer's got it and that. And
I think he got involved too much into the rock scene of it, and stuff.
It's a shame that band went.
It's a shame they watched
I
them.
thought they were going to go up there because I was working a band called Catfish in a bottle man who were huge.
Yeah.
And I thought Pretty Vicious were going to get like that.
Yeah.
Go up, like a stereophonic sort of level.
Yeah, but
it never happened. I seen some good gigs. I was working Noel Gallagher in Swansea and they were on the bill and they were great, and they played with Madness in Guitarist Park. It was a great show. And,
Exactly.
but I say for new bands, I've done. Is a few bands that like.
Yeah.
And I really like follow now, but they nothing really new. And I'm into it. The music have changed. So like our cut-off point with some bands, I think, is like Korn and all these Deftones and bands like that. They were all out in like early 2000s, and I still call them new bands compared to like the Metallicas and the Slayers and that. There's like.
Wrapping up the Foreign Legion party interview, you still in touch with Marcus now?
Yeah.
Have you got any plans just to release all vinyl and stuff?
I think it's in the pipeline is going to be some stuff released. I think Marcus is working on Zindanoff album.
That's the first album.
Zindanoff. I think he's trying to get something going with that.
Yeah.
He have mentioned that there's going to be a couple more releases, I think, but I've got a couple of old tapes I found in the garage, and
Alright.
I wouldn't mind getting them onto some rare recordings and that. And I think Stan's got some recordings never released.
Yeah.
I say it'd be good that when you mentioned the best of Foreign Legion, I think it'd be good to go from the first ever lineup, all the different lineups, get everyone on one slab of vinyl. Everyone who's been in Foreign Legion, so they're on our record up until now. Like I lost touch with the band really. Like I haven't really followed what they've been doing. I know they got about 3 albums out since my time. So
will you ever join them again?
I think my days are gone. I think that.
I think you're still in the fucking guitar note.
Funny enough, I've been writing new music.
You have,
but it's nothing like Foreign Legion. It's too heavy. It's
more
I'm more. Yeah, it's more. It's not.
But it's good. You're still talking to Marcus. You're still working on stuff. Still speaking.
We've never really like fallen out.
Yeah.
We just
everyone moves
drifted
on,
apart. Like I've met up with him in the park a couple of times, and we've had good chats. I don't think you should ever like unless someone's been an absolute twat. Like,
exactly.
But I think all the boys in the band is like I'm still in contact with Gus from the first bands. I'm still in contact with Grant, who's played in the first bands. Dickie, Julian Davis. We went to a festival back last year. We were together all weekend talking. And as I say, we have been talking about getting that sort of lineup back together, and having Dickie on drums and just doing some recording some of the stuff we never recorded with our band. So that'd be good. If we can get together with all this lockdown shit going on, and
that's all
you can't get in a studio now, but that I'm thinking of doing like a GoFundMe thing for like the old bands and just see if we can get see if we can get £5 in the pot.
Recording studio Murphy, I mean, we know the boy. You surely let you in.
If we could get like some little bit of back in and say, right, we got these songs we recorded 30 years ago. On like a live gig, we got them on tape, but we want to do them
Foreign Legion, the rarities. It's all rare songs.
We could do anything. We could get a Foreign Legion compilation going, but I'd love to do those old Surrogate, Womb Invaders, Martial Law, Inquest stuff. Get them down in the studio, whatever lineup it is. As long as it's some brilliant songs.
I'm sure the boys are joining it.
I know.
But going off the music again, you like I said, we've always been fans of wrestling, and we've met Owen Hart, Brett. We met them on we met The Rock. Not many people
everywhere,
we've been everywhere.
I was our life, wasn't it? At one point,
we
wrestling mad. Every show, we went to Docklands everywhere, then we Manchester.
You even had to go. You joined Celtic Wrestling, started training with us. We done. Shanghai. You remember that?
Shanghai. With the goth makeup on, the suit.
I remember your first appearance. You come in and I just beaten the workman. It was only my first fight, and you come out and beat fucking him. But if you remember, you come out for a rumble. For as well, didn't you? How did you stick on that, the wrestling? Was it just a little...
I think someone slammed me and knocked me to six. It was like Nigel Cleaver punching her in the face. It was like, not for me, boys. I'll stick doing the like a Paul Bearer type of stuff.
Because you like one size, the look, you would have got on far, like, but I can't
think
remember.
what put me off, remember that big Canadian copper?
Oh,
he landed on top of me in ready car training. I went right for 2 weeks. I thought my wrestling days are over.
It was a shame you didn't keep at it, but...
No, I used to love
it.
coming to watch it. I
Yeah.
thought it was brilliant. Like, it was really... The ones in a studio bar now when it was
Rock and
Rampart.
wrestling.
Well, the Blackout played, didn't they?
Blackout, we had I think your brother promoted that one with them.
Yeah.
And we had 425 people in there, in one venue.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Amazing, like, wasn't it?
And a couple of boys like Warren are still doing it, aren't they?
Yeah, a couple of boys, they still going, like, and going off wrestling, then you also, you got to do proper job then, school.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Well, I was doing a bit of sort of like working in behind the scenes in like setting like film sets up and studios and that, and like for TV programs and that. And one of the boys working said about John Scrivens said about getting, he used to work at Dozu, John, didn't he? Good boy. He said, when you get a job down in he said you're into the music, when you get a job down in Cardiff with all the bands and that. I said, I don't know where to start. So I done my licence. And your brother was working down there, wasn't he?
Yeah, my brother.
And my brother had started working down there, so I had an interview and I knew someone who knew the boss and got me an interview, and I just fell into it. Like, my first ever job was working in the Principality Stadium, the old Millennium Stadium, with Madonna. 2 weeks working. I just turned up and they said, you're on dressing room, were they making all the costumes and that. I was just standing around and Madonna would walk in every day. And it was just like, this is a job for me. This is just...
You're getting paid for something you love,
it's like not like digging the roads or carrying buckets of concrete out and all that. And I'm just like, I get talking, I don't know, I had to give them a cab.
I'm just going to say, wherever you went, you had a knack
talk
of talking to people.
I like some people like working the doors and that is like a different ball game, and it's like more like.
You've done that as well. You've done Cardiff Uni and that, haven't you?
The event side of it is more like it's not so physical, put it that way.
You're more bodyguard as well.
You're more like making sure no one goes in that dressing room or making sure no one goes down that corridor. It's that side of it. You're not watching like people coming into clubs and fighting that all the time. You do that side of it in like busy gigs and that, but I've always been like, ever since I've started that job, I always fell into like the behind the scenes sort of side of it, like the backstage stuff. And that's how I worked my way up to like...
well, I bet you met so many people. You've met them.
There's some random people I've met and you think you never ever meet these people. A good one was, we were working Beyonce down the stadium, and she had a police escort now coming in. Beyonce walks in a cardigan, just like with her bags, and you wouldn't know her if she was walking through Merthyr Town, tell the truth, right? But not made up or nothing, just normal person. She comes in, says hello. Who's behind her? Who's behind her? Jay-Z.
Alright.
So he comes in, he nodded like I said to the boys, I said, I can't believe Jay-Z's here, like he's made, to me, bigger than Beyonce, like, because I love all the old hip hop. So I said, I'll shake his hand and talk to him before the end of the night. A boy said, I bet you 20 quid that he want. I said, I will. I said, no way is he going to come out there now and not talk to Jay-Z. So when Beyonce was on, he was in like the tunnel with his hood up watching her.
Alright.
So I dying to go on to him, but I thought, oh no, I can't. I can just leave him alone, like. And you can't have photos in my job with anyone.
That's what I was just going to say, go back to your photo.
If I could have photos of everyone I met, I'd be like, But I left him alone. I didn't even go on to him. I thought, I'm not going there. So after the concert now, his security came down and said, Jay-Z's going to be coming through here now. And Beyonce is going to come off stage. and they got a police escort and they get out here.
Right.
So I said, right, here's my chance. I didn't do nothing to the boys.
Right.
He was walking down the stairs,
Right.
and I just went on to him, all right, Jay, hand out. And he went, oh, all right, how are you?
Yeah.
I said, oh, nice to meet you. And I said, I love all the early records and all that. Like, I shouldn't have said that really. I should have said I like them all. Like, and he's like, oh, thanks very much. I said, do you enjoy Cardiff and Stadium? Oh, great, he said. And they took him out then. And I said to the boy, I told you, and shake his hand.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Done it.
and then Snoop Dogg I met then.
Sure.
He was
What was he like?
he was great and all. Have a good night, my brother. He said. He's like, yeah. I met like people like Morrissey and that. Who was like,
Yeah.
everyone's saying, oh, Morrissey, he'll never say nothing to you.
Well, have you a job, like you said, like when Mrs. Brown's boys come back, you'd have to watch them like 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, we working.
So you got to know them well, I bet. Like.
Me and my mate Paul Golden, we do a lot backstage in the arena in Cardiff, and Paul Golden's got to know him like big family.
Yeah.
He's worked with them for like so long, and then I started going out there working with the men.
Yeah.
And they're just the best people you'll ever work with.
They come out with pictures with everyone and they...
Well, it could be 500 people outside,
Yeah.
and they'll make sure they'll go out and sign everyone's autographs, even if they're out there 3 hours.
Yeah.
Your mother's been there. I've
She
seen
gets
your
every
mother,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you know your mother like that.
Yeah,
they
sure, I've got a
remember that.
wheelchair and
Yeah,
scooter
and
and...
you say to him, how come you don't charge for like meet and greets and all? He said,
Yeah.
these people put us where we are.
Amazing, yeah.
And we never ever charge. Once we do it, the day we pack it in.
Yeah.
But no, those people, right? All of
Right.
them. I'm good friends with the like he's like the tour manager of them, but he's married to one of the cast members.
Yeah, they're all close to it, they all belong to each other.
Yeah, Connor, his name is, and he's a salt of the earth, and he takes he said that the day they start like charging for pictures and all that, he said they never do it. He said that those people put them where they are, and but they're so funny off stage, right? They're funnier off stage than what they are on stage. They're funny on stage, right?
Yeah.
But off stage, you're crying, laughing all the time, man.
Yeah.
He come on to me with this full Mrs. Brown's makeup on, give me an hug.
Did he?
And I was like, God, you can't write this, can you? And when they come off stage, right, they give you an hug or shake your hand every time they come off or go on stage.
Respect them, eh?
And there's a lot of bands around like that who give you the high five and that.
I bet you met some right Indians as well. We won't name names, obviously, but
no, I think.
but it's good and bad everywhere, like you said with the bands earlier, isn't it?
That's it. It's like I work with some of my favourite bands like Slipknot, and you just you're going into work and it's like you've got really busy days. You're talking 15, 16-hour days, but these bands keep you going. It's like a job. If it was any other job, you'd be like, oh, it's killing you. Like, but when you just buzzing around the place, you're working with these, and you could be chatting like the singer of Five Finger Death Punch. Oh, nice tattoos, and you have a chat. The singer of Hailstorm the other day, a big band. I had to do a meet and greet with them, and they're just like really nice.
What's probably the hardest job you had to do, fighting wise or trouble? I think you had some trouble with dark ones, you know?
Yeah,
the past, or do you get any football hooligans in, or been to?
I think the arena now is very. We don't get much trouble down there, but the crowds are getting busier before this lockdown, and now we were working gigs like Jerry Cinnamon, and the crowds are mental.
Yeah,
it's like they setting off flares and all that, and it's like they say about metal gigs and mosh pits. You go to these Jerry Cinnamons, Liam Gallagher gigs, and the crowd are mental. Oh, crazy! And then, like I've done, like throughout my time, I've done a lot of work going through work in the pit in front of the stage. Yeah, and.
But I remember doing we done Pink, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I got put backstage, you was in the pit.
Yeah.
And you got picked to go in there, and I was gutted because I thought I was going to be outside the arena, and I got put backstage, which was lucky.
Yeah.
But how hard are them pits? Because sometimes you were pulling hundreds of people.
500 people over in one band.
That's an hell of a, training session, isn't it?
Oh, it's mental.
You sweat and
like, we worked Parkway Drive in Cardiff University, and he holds 1,400 people. We're talking 450 people over in 1 hour, and they flying over.
That's a lot of people.
And then when you work the arena, you like.
Some of these people, you know what I mean, they collapse, they dead
Oh,
weights.
you work in the arena, you're working like Corn, Limp Bizkit and all that, they fly in over.
Yeah.
You can see them coming, you standing there and they surfing around, but there's people coming over like constantly.
Yeah.
You really like knackered at the end of it, but you buzz in at the same time, your favourite band's on stage,
Exactly.
the bands can come down
Adrenaline.
and dive in there, you're holding the bands, or
Yeah.
and we do a lot of like escorting people around, like if they're going to go to a B stage and all that, and we work closely with their security, like
But you're enjoying it, like I said. It's good
yeah, I
You're
got a
enjoying
job
it.
as a supervisor and
Yeah.
worked up through the ranks, and I got a lot of like
How long have you been in now?
12 years.
12 years.
But say since
Hey,
this
deserve it,
lockdown,
eh?
it's all gone pear-shaped.
No, I know.
There's no nothing happening, but
Same
we'll
here.
get through it, and it'll all come back eventually.
Yeah.
But I say some of the mega stars I work with is like Dolly Parton coming up to you. And, like the last off, me and my mate, we were like working with Priscilla Presley, and I had to take her to a meet and greet, and when she was going, she shook me and my mate Paul Golding's hand, wished us a Merry Christmas. It was just before Christmas, and the year before, Liam Gallagher, we were working with him, and everyone was saying, "Oh, Liam Gallagher, he won't say nothing to you."
Yeah.
You come up, shake a hand, have a Merry Christmas and all that. You can't write it, can you? It's
Sound
like, yeah. It's great, but it's a great job, and I'd advise anyone who's like into music to go down that route and get a job like doing security for like venues and that. It's if you're into music and you like, you got to be a people's person. You have,
exactly.
you got to know how to
Like I
talk
said,
to
you've
people
got to
and say you avoid trouble, like you get trouble everywhere, but in event security it's a bit more. Not so hands-on compared to like working in a club or a pub like you do, like.
Exactly. You also bodyguarded WWE wrestlers. Like I said, you've always been a massive fan, like myself, of wrestling. And now you're finally around them all these big names, and you're working with them. Did you once go to the airport to pick some wrestlers up?
Yeah, we had a job, a couple of boys. We had to go down the airport, making sure fans weren't there. Asking them for autographs, and
Was that Cardiff Airport then?
Cardiff Airport, they get off the plane, and it was all the biggest wrestlers I've watched all my life.
Who was there?
Big Show,
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. It was all the divas. It was everyone. It was Goldust, you know, all the like the classic wrestlers, like, and
People you watched in the past, innit? But how did it feel? I mean, you're not small. What are you 6'5", 6'4"?
6'4", yeah.
I mean, you
6'5",
covered tattoos, and so you look a pop, but obviously you had a shirt on. But what's it feel? I mean, big shows were there, and you were standing there knowing if someone goes to him, you got to fucking nail them, like. So
it's like
it's got to be feeling good, like, isn't it?
Like they got their security, and we got a good relationship with the WWE security now, because when they come to Cardiff, I always work in the runway.
Yeah.
So we work with their security guys, and they are like they are switched on. We go around with them, and there's one Polish guy. He's a really nice guy, and
Security.
yeah. They get all the ones from WrestleMania coming over with them, and you see them on the TV, and you're working with these guys, and then you see when you're working backstage with wrestlers, they're just normal guys. A lot of them, they go shopping around Cardiff.
So in the daytime, they obviously sit the ring set up. They're all talking and you're moving around the ring, and I bet you met loads of you.
Yeah, even like Kane. I remember I was working really early, and I was a knock at the door, and I answered the door, and Kane was standing there, just staring. And I went, alright, and he went, just nodded.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Well, he was 7 foot, didn't you?
huge.
6'10".
He's
Yeah,
massive.
big as well, like.
And he had a doctor who carry a bag.
Alright.
So I thought,
I've been to
he's been to the Doctor Who exhibition he had.
Alright.
And they were doing something down there, him and Paige. So I think he said to him, like, you like Doctor Who, do you? No.
Yeah.
No. Just like, no. of small talk. You know
Yeah.
you know
You know if they
the
got
job.
well, they got knocked on.
You know some people not to talk to. Some bands or wrestlers will stand and have a conversation with you, ask you about Cardiff, where can I go and all that.
Yeah.
And with Kane, there was no interaction at all. It was like
What about
exactly. Paige was great.
Yeah.
She had her family come to the show and all that. Her brothers are wrestlers and that, I think, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's really nice. And but Kane come back, and I don't know if it was like because it was early in the morning, he hadn't had his coffee.
Yeah.
But he come back, he said, by the way, that doctor who bagged you was a present for a friend. He said, I'm not a fan, but that's your answer.
Oh, he didn't
And I
come
was
back.
like, oh, thanks very much, Kane, have a good show tonight. Thank you. And he walked off.
Ah.
And it was like another incident, me and my mate again, Paul Golden. He was, all these wrestlers turned up at once. Bags everywhere.
Back to the arena.
Back of the arena on the stage. And it was The Shield, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, all of them. It was at when they were at their biggest, when they had all the gear on and that.
Shield.
And they were all standing by the door, and Ryback pulls up. And he had a good few suitcases, like big bags.
Yeah.
So he's huge, and he Ryback.
Oh,
Is he one of the biggest muscle
Right,
ones
yeah,
when he, he's like massive.
Yeah.
But like really intimidating bloke. So there's me being nice now. Oh, do you want Anne to do suitcases? He looks at me like, you joking here, like I'm 30 stone by her.
You're only being polite, isn't it?
Yeah. So he went, go on, and he said, you lift that one.
Yeah.
So as I picks it up now, I drops it on the steps. His suitcase splatters everywhere, all his gear all over the floor. My mate Paul Golden standing there laughing his head off like that. Ryback just staring at me. But who was in the corner laughing their heads off with all the Shield. So I felt like I was like, oh, sorry about that, Mr. Ryback. And he was going, not happy, like, and Golden was saying, oh, you've upset him. And he started laughing, and he said, oh, don't worry about it.
He's alright.
I picked all this stuff up for him, got him up the stairs. And when he was going, and when the bus was going, his big suitcase, he said, don't touch the suitcases. I said, I not. I said, carry on, you're big enough. But it's a good story of us because he was really like...
Who's probably the nicest wrestler you met? Who spoke to you? I remember you, because you'd always tell me, I met Fing last night, I met Fing, he was...
Some of the divas are really nice. The Bella twins and...
you met William Regal, Fit Friendly,
Natalia,
the lot of them.
Mark Henry is a cool guy, massive, isn't he?
Oh,
you're thinking, what's the point of doing security with the size these guys are, like, innit?
Did you feel small next time? Because like I said, you were 6'5".
Who's that one? Biggie Langston, is that? Biggie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he comes in.
Nudie.
Don't you think people are big around here and all that? You see these guys, man, their arms are like that.
I know, and when we met them, when you actually, you see them on telly, they look big, but when you're actually standing by them, you can see how big they are.
We were doing a job once, and we had to go over the hotel. I think we had a few photos. I was in the background, was I, with a big show and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And Swoggle, and they were in the hotel, and fans knew they were in there, so we had to just go make sure they weren't getting hassled.
Yeah.
So Great Carly comes down now.
All right.
And I've never seen anyone as big as
no,
him.
he's 7'2", is he? 7 foot?
His hands are like that. His feet are like that.
Yeah.
So I said, do you want Andrew to do bags? And he went, no. I was like, what did I ask her for? Like, the guy could carry a car. He could carry a car over to the arena.
But he's a monster.
And he was a really nice guy, like, and I was looking at his head was like bigger than my body, massive. If you've seen him when you were a kid, you'd be like, he's a giant. It was like meeting Andre the Giant, like, you can't get bigger, can you?
But you've done them all, and you've been there, like you said, 12
and
years.
then little long swaddle comes down then. Run under the bags, and he was like, yes, please. Carry his bags then. But he
probably carry him as well.
I was looking at him, I wouldn't like to scrap with him on swaddle. Solid.
Did you ever see him in the ring, training and all that? Or?
Yeah, it's like, we do like all day shifts sometimes in the arena, and they come in early training and that, and Chris Jericho and
You say you met them all, haven't you?
Yeah, the Miz and all that. I remember the Miz asking, knowing they get the banter going in the ring, he was asking one of the boys about the football rivalry in Cardiff, so Cardiff Swansea.
Yeah.
So he said, if I say I'm a Swansea,
We're like Cardiff go mad,
booing. So, they ask questions, and it's the same with like some comedians would ask you a question about a local thing. Jack Whitehall was asking me, so, and I told him about. He said, "Oh, if I was going to pinch cards now, where would I go around there?"
Yeah.
I said, "Nowhere around there, but the girl must be all right." So,
but like you said, you was on that. What's it called? The rundown where they come out the entrance. You was on the.
Yeah, I do a lot of work in like.
Did you ever? I'm sure I went to one show where
NXT was it?
And there was a run in, and you all had to get what happened?
Oh, they'd land by your feet. I've been working in there, and they just scrapping by your feet. All the big guys like.
I'm about the crowd running in. Because I saw someone jump the barriers and you pinned him straight away, or you got him.
Yeah, they'd never get in out. They'd never get in out. It's like a stage. All the years I've been working security, no one gets on our stage. It's like the number one rule.
Yeah.
The bands.
Well, you got to manage corner,
not
looking at the ring, looking out in it as well.
I've never seen anyone get on stage, and now you just got to get on.
I swear, I don't know. You could have been on a different part of the arena. I was on a couple of years ago, and someone got over the barrier, but they had him straight away.
Oh, they love you.
He was out there.
Yeah, you probably get arrested and all for like invasion in a WWE ring. They're really strict on it, especially with like it's like a full surgery and everything. Like the Americans come over and they really
because you had to do changing rooms as well, didn't you? Outside.
Yeah.
I think it was one show you told me that you wasn't down with the ring. You had just do the changing rooms where they.
Yeah.
So you see them all the time, like, you know?
Yeah, I've done so many different jobs in the wrestling, like it's like, and at the end with all the fans and the buses and all that, and some wrestlers go out to sign, don't they?
Yeah.
But I think the climate of the whole industry is going to change now. Meet and greets are going to go. I think you're not going to get sign-ins. Everyone's just going to be like. Yeah. It's hard to picture what the industry is going to be like now.
It's a strange old world.
Even with bands. The bands come in and they could have a meet and greet for 500 people, shaking hands and signing photos.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen in that side of it now. It's
it's
a funny old world. Like same with football, isn't it?
Yeah.
Footballers go out signing or
like said, you we COVID come, didn't it? And you come really ill and I don't know, nothing to do with COVID, or was it? You don't know.
Nothing to do with.
You had a couple of days when you really.
Oh, I just like. I definitely had the COVID.
You think you had it?
Yeah, but I was working like loads of concerts, loads of crowds, and I could have picked it up.
Did you do that stereophonics when they talk about when they reckon it could have been?
Yeah, I didn't pick it up from a stereophonics concert, so I was like before that.
Yeah.
I was ill just after the stereophonics concert.
I think a lot of people had it.
I could have picked it up on the streets in Merthyr. I could have picked it
up
anywhere. I went to the barbers for my haircut. You could have picked it up in there.
Of course, yeah.
But I know a lot of bands like they were like getting worried about it, and you could see it happening. You could see like when they told us the stereophonics is the last gig. You didn't realise how serious it was, and I haven't done a concert. I don't think.
Well, I'm the same. I work at studio. Like
they just went dead, and
after 15 weeks, we were thinking, are we ever going to work again?
I know.
No, man, it's scary times, isn't it?
And they knocked me back for 6 when I was unwell with it. Didn't know I knew what it was properly. And then,
but you back in work now? Are you?
Yeah, back up and running. I feel healthier than ever now.
And you're back in work?
Yeah, we're doing security, but our roles have changed a bit now. We're doing more like. There's no entertainment work. It's just like. Yeah. But it will come back. It's just a waiting game, and it's one of those things that I'm not going to change my career because I knew it will come back. You just got to ride it out. Exactly. It's like it took me so long to get to where I am in my job. If you went off and done something else,
pointless.
It's pointless.
You'll get back in.
Ride it out.
Like I said, you met so many people at times. All people like Alice Cooper. Johnny Rotten.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Manson was brilliant.
What was Marilyn Manson like?
He was amazing, he was, Marilyn Manson.
How did that come about? Was it a meet and greet, or was you
Yeah, I went
working when?
I went to Birmingham to see him, and I'd seen Manson a good few times live. Well, you'd seen him, I knew.
Yeah.
You'd seen him in Reading.
Reading with him, yeah.
He was outstanding. Eminem, he come on with Eminem and all, didn't he?
Yeah.
Never see that again. And it was one of these, no one who say you got a bucket list of people you want to meet.
Yeah.
He was in the top 5, he was, Manson. I thought it never going to happen.
Yeah.
And a chance come up, he was doing a gig up in Birmingham with Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I sent you a couple of quid extra to have a meet and greet. And you get a t-shirt and you'd sign anything. And it was like about 100 quid, something like that. And I thought, oh, I'm never going to have a chance to meet him ever again.
Yeah.
So I done it. I went on my own.
Normal person again?
You walk into
Nice.
a room similar to this, all blacked out.
Yeah.
And he went one of these meet and greets where everyone's piling in trying to talk to him. You go in on your own, so you come in through a door like that, Manson be sitting there.
Yeah.
And he'd have all these lights, and he's exactly like, he was full makeup on, he was exactly what you expect. And he said to me, "You're the only guy I met there today, he was taller than me, because he's a big lump, he is, Manson, he's massive."
Yeah.
And he was really sound, like, and he ended up signing my ribs, but
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, can you sign my body and all? I'm going to get a tattooed." He said, "I stood in the most painfulest place." So he done.
Oh, you done it with that?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's what that side or that side? Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
What's the tattoo for there, Rise Above?
Oh, it's just like a thing from Black Flag, a punk band. They had a song to Rise Above, and it was like going through a time where I wanted to rise above everything. And it was like, so Manson, Manson signed up there.
Yeah.
He was like, he said, "I'll sign in the most awkwardest place and the most painful place too," he said.
Yeah.
To get tattooed. So I text Paul Black.
Yeah.
And I said, Manson's just signed my ribs. I said, "Can you tattoo it in the morning? It's with permanent mark. I won't wash." And I come. He said, "Oh, I'll do a few first thing in the morning." So Black done it for me.
Done it?
Tattooed it over.
Yeah.
He killed.
Yeah.
He killed on it because he put it like if it was an autograph.
Yeah.
So,
How did you find Cooper?
Oh, he's amazing, Cooper.
Yeah. Where did you meet him?
I met him I met him twice. I met him up in Celtic Manor when he was playing golf for a charity.
Yeah.
And he was one of the nicest
You working?
guys.
Yeah.
No, not working.
Just watch it. Yeah.
I did meet him in Cardiff Arena and back last year. We got the chance of having a guest pass. We bought tickets, me and my mate again, Paul Golden, big Alice Cooper fan. We're always working backstage and that, and the event manager said, I got a chance of having like someone from the arena to meet Alice after the gig. So he said it might not happen, he said, but it could happen. So these meet and greets for Alice Cooper are like 600 quid.
Shit.
You'd never afforded it, like. So I said to Golden, we'll go to the show, enjoy it.
Yeah.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Just before Alice Cooper comes on stage, the Stranglers, the support band.
Yeah.
And the event manager come down, he said, he said, there's a passes to meet Alice after the show. We were buzzing, weren't we?
Yeah.
So after the show, we goes up into this bar.
Right.
We sit in there, and the old band walks in, all the members of Alice Cooper, and he got his guitarist called Nita Strauss, and she's amazing. Yeah. And we're the ones who were more excited to meet than Alice at the time, because I'd never met Nita Strauss, and I love her guitar playing.
Right.
So we had a photo with the old band then in this bar, and we're talking to him candid, and I said to Golden, I said, I think we've blown it out for Cooper, I bet he's gone. I said, he's not in yet, isn't he? So this American guy come in, he said, everyone show your passes, he said, and if there's a star in the corner, you're going to meet Alice, if it's not, get out. And I was like, Golden, we got the star, we're going inside. So he goes in, you got Alice standing there, full makeup. I said, I met you before when we were playing golf up in Celtic Manor.
Yeah.
He said, I love our place. He said, I didn't have time to go on his tour, he said, but, and he was a really nice guy. and we had a photo, and they were giving these like dollar bills out, so he signed that for me, and we chuffed.
Brilliant.
But he's a legend, and he,
Yeah, exactly.
he's like, he won't get better. His concerts are amazing.
What about Johnny Rotten? Where did you meet him?
Birmingham, we met him.
Right.
Do you remember Colin Scott used to come around with Foreign Legion, take all the
yeah.
photos and that? Well, Public Image Limited, Pill, they were getting back together. The first show in 18 years, 17, 18 years,
Yeah.
they split up. So we bought tickets at Birmingham or two,
Yeah.
and we said, oh, we'll go up there in a day. So it's freezing cold now, and the tour bus is parked outside the arena. We stand by the stage door, we could hear Pill rehearsing.
Yeah.
So I said, he's not going to come out there, man. I said, he's never going to walk onto the street. I said, we'd hang around for another hour. I said, we'd go for food.
Yeah.
So he didn't come out the doors we standing. He was walking around the street, up the street.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, there he is, there. So I didn't, he's unpredictable, Joel. I've seen
Oh,
footage,
yeah.
I'm very unpredictable.
Yeah.
So I went up to him and I said, oh, Johnny, any chance of having a photo? And he went, looked at me. Go on, Ann, he said, go on, Ann. And I thought, I got him there now. I had a photo. And Colin didn't have a chance to get his photo in because he went on the tour bus.
Alright.
So yeah, I had a photo. And I was gutted for Colin, but it was just one of those moments, a quick photo, and he's
gone.
Yeah, gone on the bus.
Yeah.
Because it was freezing, but we said, oh, lovely music. Even that, I said Pistols of Never Mind the Bollocks.
Yeah.
It was one of those albums.
Oh, yeah.
Always had it.
Yeah, that's right.
Going through school and that, it was like, it was one of those iconic albums, and everyone loved it.
It was
like,
nice to meet them, wasn't it?
Oh, I was. And I don't think you'd ever meet them again, no. It was like, some of these photos, it's like with you, we've had photos of wrestlers and boxers and that. They'd a one-off time sometimes. And some people don't care, don't they, about photos and that. Yeah. And they call it a celebrity stalker, but they're all like, oh, look at the photos you
had. 20 years later, you show your grandkids.
Oh, it's like, so you go to these Comic Cons, don't you?
I told my daughter the other day, she said, no way, you Charlie met Game Man and Master, and she's one of her favourites. Like, I showed her a picture there.
Your daughter loves Ghost, and she took her to see Ghost.
Yeah.
I had to do the meet and greet with Pablo from Ghost, and in the day he was there normal without his makeup. We chatted, and I said, I've seen Ghost, I said so many times now. I said I first seen him in 2012, and he was like, oh, great.
Yeah.
But then, when he's in his character, then when I had to take him up to the room for the meet and greet with his with the mask on and that, and he's talking a different accent. He's like in character. He's not like, oh, how are you? And I think he's in full Papa mode.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. Taking him up the stairs, walking side by side with Papa and Ghost. He's on stage and he's like, I love Ghost, like, and it's like doing jobs like that. It's like you can't.
Well, I think it's a picture of you there with Ghost on stage and you're in the background.
Yeah, well,
the bodyguard, I'm like, what's
we were at a gig up in Manchester with Metallica,
right?
And we had to go on the stage for like spotting, it's called. So you stand on the stage with the band.
Yeah.
If you see someone trying to jump a barrier or a fight break out, you've got the radio and you cans. And you radio through to say, right, this is happening. So we done it for Ghost, and they were right by me. I was like, oh,
who took the picture then? Or did it show up on the internet?
It was on the internet. It was on the Instagram. So it was just a big chance. But we were supposed to be on stage with Metallica and all.
Yeah.
But they had so much pyro and all. They told us. So we were up in the stands doing it. But like. To work with Ghost that close on stage like that is like a dream, a dream job. And then seeing Metallica then with like 50, 60,000 people, it's like, you can't beat it. Like, it was worth the trek to Manchester.
Yeah. You've always been a fan of the film conventions where we've gone to so many of me.
Yeah.
One figure sticks in my mind, David Carradine.
He's dead now, isn't he? Thank God.
Yeah, he is dead. But did you get checked out, or you had him before? He said something to you when you...
He's gonna cut me up with his samurai sword, didn't he?
Can you remember that?
I asked him to sign a photo, and it was like 30.
Kill Bill, was it?
Yeah, Kill Bill. I love the Kill Bill films.
Yeah.
And I said, can you put a cookie I said, can I put a quote from the film?
Yeah.
And he wrote something really like stupid on it.
Yeah.
And he,
Nothing to do with the film, was it? Was it?
well,
Perhaps?
apparently it was a quote, but I didn't know what the quote was. It was just loads of swearing and
Yeah.
it was like he wrote everything.
He's a prick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just done it on purpose. He could have wrote
Yeah.
any quote, but he done this particular one,
Yeah.
which he wouldn't want to put on the wall. Like I won't repeat it on the YouTube. I don't want to get banned.
Yeah.
But he went.
I was there because I.
Yeah, you were there.
You fucking
were there.
went nuts.
You were there. So I gave him a 35 quid, and he done the quote. He gave me the photo,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm not having that. I said, I'm not having that. And he went like, ripped it up, chucked it on the floor.
Yeah.
I said, where's the 35 quid back then?
Yeah.
You won't give me, wouldn't he?
Fucking murders you.
I said, I'm having this 35 quid back. Like, I said, I don't care if you killed Bill, I don't care why you win. He was saying, he said, you know he's a martial arts expert, don't you? You kill him. I said, I don't care, I want my 35 quid back.
But it's really involved in everything, wasn't it?
As this was happening now, a guy comes up to him and he said, can you sign my banana? So he grabbed the banana off him, wrote David Carradine on the banana and charged him 35 quid. Sign the banana. I said, you're taking a piss, man. I said, I want my money back. And he was like, he won't give it back. I had it back in the end.
Yeah, excuse
and
me, involved everything.
the photo was ripped up on the floor.
Yeah, you were fucking nuts,
Oh,
remember?
I haven't watched Kill Bill ever again.
Fucking idiot, isn't it?
Oh, there's some nutters in these conventions, isn't there?
Oh,
There's been some great ones on there.
Oh, you met them all,
at the
yeah.
Alp, didn't we?
Yeah.
You're
Incredible Hulk. Met him, Lou Fringo.
Hellboy.
Hellboy, yeah.
Ron Perlman and massive.
You met him all. Who's the biggest star you ever met, would you say?
Biggest.
You've met so many. I'd probably say the biggest now, film action star, is The Rock.
Yeah.
You met him as when he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
He hadn't done a film then, innit? But
No.
he was very quiet, and he shook our hands and all that.
Cena we met and all, didn't we?
We met John Cena, didn't
Yeah,
we?
he's a big name now,
like.
like.
But in the conventions, who would you say is probably the biggest? But you was more into horror as well, when you were
Yeah,
meeting people.
Linda
Like.
Blair is a good photo, and I met her. But I'm trying to think what big names has been who've gone on to
Because
megastars.
when me and you used to go, there was big names.
Yeah.
I noticed through the years, they got
gone-
shit, and
gone crap.
they got crap. So,
Like it's like more cult ones there now, and they're
Yeah.
little parts and that. But we had massive names.
you met Freddy Krueger, you done a
Yeah, Kruger. They say Ron Perlman's a big name. That's a big name.
That's a big name, I mean.
Working wise, megastars, I could say. Jay-Z's a megastar, isn't he?
Exactly, you so many there, wasn't it?
Morrissey's a big star. Liam Gallagher in this country. I met Noel Gallagher.
Yeah,
And like loads of metal bands and
yeah.
like Slipknot. You can't get much bigger than Slipknot.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
It's just like been so many people who work with and so many people who met in conventions. They all get
Yeah.
mixed into one sometimes. It's like,
Oh.
like Tyson's a big name, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd probably say Tyson, yeah.
But
that was big for the
I'm
time,
trying to
yeah.
think of like band wise. Like I met Elton John and people like that, and
Yeah.
a lot of like big names of the music I don't even like, but worked with like some
Yeah.
real like mega stars.
Yeah, you will.
Like I was on. It's a funny story. Back last year, we were doing shows in Cardiff Castle.
Aye.
I don't think they're not my cup of tea. I don't like them.
Yeah.
The Killers, you won't get a bigger band, whatever. They were
yeah.
headlining Glastonbury, so they'd done a show in Cardiff.
Yeah.
So they were doing a sound check in Cardiff Castle. It's all open, so we had our boys everywhere saying, right, no photos, no filming where they're doing a sound check.
Yeah.
So they told me to stand on the stage with the Killers where they're doing a sound check, making sure it's with the radio. And then the Pet Shop Boys appear, doing a song with the Killers.
All right.
In a sound check in Cardiff, because they were playing Glastonbury the next day, and the Pet Shop Boys are coming on, doing a song with the Killers.
Yeah.
So it was all that shush, and it was like, you standing there in the middle of a field with no one there, with the Killers and the Pet Shop Boys on the stage playing. It's like you just can't get into it, like.
You getting paid for
I know. It's like, I'm not a fan of any of the bands, but things like that, you just can't write, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's happened to me a lot, like, and some of the old, like, names that played our arena, and some of them are not even around anymore, like, it's like B.B. King and Leonard Cohen, and
Loads of them.
yeah, it's like some of the shows, like Meatloaf. I met Meatloaf, he's a massive name, isn't he?
Big name, yeah.
And
What's he like?
oh, he's amazing. I met him a couple of times, really down to earth guy, like. I don't think you'll see him around anymore, like, he's an actor, he's brilliant on stage.
Yeah.
He dominates our stage, doesn't he?
Oh, he amazing. I seen him in Cardiff. I think I seen you the same day he was.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
One thing I mentioned is all his tattoos. You've always been a massive tattoo fan. We've gone to conventions. You've had them all around the world. How did that first come about? And when was it? When did you have your last one?
I think it's to do with music. I think growing up.
What was your first tattoo? It's like I got
It
pictures
was
of
an Indian but there, but I had it covered over. That's my second one, but there.
That's you Indian. I remember you having that done.
I've that tribal one, but there is an old one and all, the one on the side of the arm.
Yeah, that's when you first.
And then I had those ones done then.
So where do you have most of your tattoos done?
Pie in Swansea is,
yeah.
I've had them in a couple of different places, like, and
I said you Tyson tattoo work turned out good for you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Made you make Tyson and
yeah, same with that tattoo. There's a good story with that one. That's the last one I had done.
what's that then? Can you push it to the camera? Yeah.
It's a logo of a band I really like called Behemoth. They're a Polish, like, black metal, death metal band.
Is that the one you had a picture with?
Yeah, that is. If you can show that on the.
Yeah, I'll show you now.
It's just a one-off picture in work hours. It was like I was working Slipknot and Behemoth, and it was like a dream come true job for me. And in the day, the singer of Behemoth was talking to the guys from Slipknot, and I was standing by the door, and he clocked that on my hand.
Yeah.
And he said, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, I'm a big fan of Behemoth." I said, I got tons of records, and
yeah.
And he started talking, and I said, "Oh, I love that." He said, "Thank you," and I said, "I'm coming to the show," I said, "up in Birmingham," and he said, "Oh, bring your records and I will meet up and I'll sign them all for you," and that, and I said, "Oh, cheers for that." So when they were going on stage now, they come down the stairs, they full makeup, and he said, "Give me your phone."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What's he up to?" And he said, "Come on, your band now, at the photo." And I just couldn't believe it. It was like, you can't have photos of anyone, but if someone does that,
Yeah.
you're not going to say no, like.
No, exactly, yeah.
So, but that day, Slipknot were filming a documentary. It was on TV a couple of months ago.
Was it?
And I'm standing behind one of the Slipknot guys, but they were all sound.
Oh, did you talk for the interview on that?
Yeah, I talked to one interview with Behemoth on one of their things. They asked me,
online, yeah.
and I was a bit taken back. I was a bit like.
Yeah.
Like a robot talking, yeah, I've been in the Behemoth spot like this. Talking like a cat who just froze. He was like froze on the spot. They were like a candid interview, like, are you panic? But to meet Slipknot, it was like, I first seen Slipknot and I first ever told
Did you ever see them without their mask?
Slipknot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like...
Obviously you can't comment on it, but...
No, they'd...
yeah.
I know them all.
Yeah,
I've seen Stone
Have
Sour
you ever
and
talked
all
about
that.
their masks on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Sound. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like talking. It was like I had a good conversation with Jim Root from Slipknot about his guitars, and I like.
Yeah.
But another story going back for that, when Five Finger Death Punch was at the arena, I love the guitarist of them. Zoltan, his name is. He had all his guitars lined up in a row, like 10 guitars, and I got chatting to his guitar tech. He's giving me the guitars for a go and all that.
Shit, yeah.
It was like, can't beat that kind of.
No. Right, one last question, Joel. What's the future hold for yourself? Anything on your bucket list you'd like to do?
Yeah, loads of stuff on my bucket list. Travel is the main thing, but to say we're on a bit of
Where would you like to go?
that. I like to do more Scandinavia, like Norway and Sweden and all.
The golf, like all that,
and all the mountains and all that scenery.
Yeah.
I like to go to like. I'd like to go back to America one day,
Yeah.
and I say anywhere really. It was I got a lot of interest for like Europe. I really like Europe, but Scandinavia is really appealing.
Yeah.
And there's a good few bands that's still on my bucket list I haven't seen.
Who's that?
The Cure are one of them. I've always loved the Cure since I was in school. Like,
Never seen them?
Never seen the Cure.
Yeah.
I got to see Sisters of Mercy,
Yeah.
but I've never seen the Cure. And there's a few metal bands and all. Like I go to Bloodstock Festival every year.
Yeah.
And this year I was gutted because there was a good few bands I hadn't seen up there. And but I'm going to start getting back into music more now. I've started writing songs. I don't know what it'll take us.
Yeah.
But I'm really into the music side of it. And,
Oh, good. Right, Joel, thanks. It's been a pleasure coming on.
Awesome.
All the
Really
best of the
enjoyed
future,
that.
mate.
Say we go back.
Oh,
we go back.
In 40 years.
I said you could have done this like 5-hour interview.
I know, we could talk
But,
whatever. But thanks for coming on, Beth. All the best in the future.
Awesome.
Thank you.